got no love for the fakeness. You wanna play tough, you wanna hate this. I'm gonna show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. Everything I do, so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move, so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patent it. Being negative when you should be getting accurate. I got facts over tracks, listen max, getting slow, getting fast, not for roast, I can gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness, hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior, get off me, this ain't no humble brag, I want you to hear words, you can say them back, I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I'm a good girl, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't let the consequence set me in incompetent. Mental health is confidence, screams into modestness. I'm not here to say the dick, that's for you to take away. I could play a million wine games, but instead of say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go. Make yourself unstoppable. You're irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage in this bed. I'll be great one day, going off on my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off, and knowing I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I never separate, just a vacant. Modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through life, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and be a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. All right, well, welcome everybody. Hope everyone had a wonderful Saturday and having a good weekend. Did you know today was the Lions Gate portal? 8/8. Kind of forgot. But if you look into it, the Lions Gate portal is pretty important. You should check into it if you don't know about it. And actually, then it's followed up by, I think we're having an eclipse next Wednesday. I think, I forgot when. But yeah, we'll have an eclipse next week. So anyway, it's kind of a fun time of year. And I have a fly in here. And every time I get the fly swatter, the thing disappears. So dang it. It's a smart fly. I had my screen out today because I fixed it. I had to actually sew it because the cats are busting through it. And anyway, so I had to put a metal screen into it. And anyway, so I should have probably shut the window when I did that. It took longer than I thought. So anyway, I have a fly in here and maybe some gnats or something. I don't know. So anyway, if you see me swatting, it's not because I think I have bugs on my face. That's a fact, okay? I don't think I have bugs on my face, and I'm not going to start shivering and be freezing all of a sudden either. Just a heads up in case you see me swatting at something. It's not imaginary bugs, they're actually real ones. So
Anyway, I'm kicking myself right now for not shutting the window. But yeah, I had to put a metal mesh in there because the cats are busting through it. And I'm tired of replacing it. Let's see here. So let me pull up my chat. I really can't have the chat on when I do the music, or I don't know. All hell breaks through. My computer can't do two things at once. So anyway, otherwise I'd have them up when I started. So anyway, welcome. So I'm going to say hi to everybody. Let me get into the chat. Yeah, as you can see by the title, it said wrapping up Eric and Doosh's BS Amish stories. So we're gonna be wrapping it up tonight. We're gonna go over some miscellaneous clips about the Amish and the log home and all that nonsense. And actually we're gonna revisit the cheese story. We'll go on to something else after tonight. But anyway, after tonight, if you have seen the this week's Amish stories from Eric and his friends, you know by now that this is just utter nonsense. And I sure hope that he's held accountable, because I'm going to tell you what, with this fake nonsense like this, it's just, to me, it looks like he never intended to do the Amish house. I think it just seemed like the whole thing was a bunch of BS. It was a stall. It was a way to get money coming in. And anyway, so we're gonna look at some clips. And I saw something, but I can't remember what it was. Maybe someone's clip. So anyway, we're gonna revisit that. But as you can see, as of last night, his stories didn't match from the first time when they thought they were going to be unaccountable. Because like I mentioned earlier this week, in my opinion, Eric has allegedly gotten away with so many fundraisers and taken whatever he wants, in my opinion. I think he's just gotten away with it so many times. He just thought this was going to be another one. And I think that's what happens when people do things like this. They start to get sloppy. They start to get too cocky and self-confident to the point that they're actually flipping off the audience who are sending in money to them under false pretenses, because that money was sent in for a log home for the Whitakers and they never got it. So that money should have automatically been returned. You know what I mean? And that didn't happen. And he's saying, well, I don't know who I should give it back. No, every single donation, you should just click that button and return it to sender. It's easy to do. Hey, Kathleen. So I'm going to say hi to everybody. I'm trying to get to the top here. All right. So Kathleen comes in first, and it says rolling a giant cheese wheel into the room. Well, awesome. You are ready to strike a deal with the Amish with that cheese wheel, you know? Up here says, sorry, I'm back. I smelt the cheese wheel. Evening, Kathy Grayson chat. Well, good to see you tonight, up yours. Yes, time for some cheese. I hope somebody brought some quackers. Anyway, hey, up yours. I'm hoping someone will bring oh, there you go, giant box of crackers. I did not even see that. So hello to Kathleen, up yours. Cheryl Bix, good to see you tonight. Cheryl, I got the business card for the cookies. He needs some of your cheese, Kathleen, to go with his wine. Yes, he needs a little cheese to go with his wine. Anyway, 55, good to see you tonight. I can't believe y'all don't take a business card yes, then you have proof that you made a deal with the Amish, right? And I think it's so funny that all they did was go to that store, and this is all that they have proof of. They went to the store and bought some cookies and whatever. I don't know if they talked about anything or bought cheese. Where is this big block of cheese? We never saw it. But all we have proof of that they have proof of, I should say, the only thing they have proof of is that they went to the store to buy cookies, cheese, and chips for Lorraine, and God knows what. Oh, and they ate lunch there and whatever. And then they also toured a factory of that makes tables and furniture and coffee tables out of giant slabs of wood. Um, and so yeah, they went on that little tour, and that's all we have. All we have. Um, yeah. So anyway, um, I mean they're welcome to. You think you anyway. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's 3:34 here. Everywhere's closed. I have to buy. Oh yeah, it is. Yep. You're 6 hours ahead. That's right. Yeah, I'm scraping kittens off the drapes. Actually, I just use a big like metal rake and I just scrape them off. Yes, you must speak Pennsylvania Dutch. That is a requirement, and you have had to have turned your back on the Amish at some point. Let's see. Total Collins says, "Do you have garlic olives?" Oh, I think I've had those. I just had olives yesterday. Adds up, yep. All right, Betty, good to see you tonight. Italian girl, welcome. Good to see everybody. Welcome to everybody. Tie-dye Gammy. Florida, life in the sun. Let's see, am I missing anybody? Betty, up yours. Sound like I said Betty, up yours. Because I did. Let's see, T-Bro. I'm just saying up yours, who cares, is shortened to up yours. Anyway, not my monkeys. Let's see. Not my monkeys. Welcome. Good evening. T-Bro. Sarah, North Carolina. Welcome, James. And yes, and thank you for hitting the like button. Two Paws. Good evening to Two Paws. Sitting outside enjoying the evening when it's still 101. Wow, you must be around Arizona, because Arizona has been over 100 even into the evening. Feels like I'm sitting in front of a hairdryer. That is weird, but probably no weirder than 10 below zero in the winter for us. People in the South think that's weird. So, but anyway, stay cool. TNT, welcome. Thank you for the star for 2 jewels. Thank you, appreciate that, much appreciated. See James, Sarah, 2 Paws, TNT, D, welcome to D. It gets hot where she is too. Let's see. Nancy, welcome. Let's see. Miss January, welcome. Anyway, so I think I'm caught up. Yeah, we're going to go over some miscellaneous clips, what I have left of the Amish stuff. And yeah, we're going to go over the original cheese wheel story and then some miscellaneous clips. And I hope the police and the investigators are watching and taking notes, because this is some good evidence that I've scraped up. I think I could hopefully be useful to them in case they need it. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty and all that stuff. So anyway, so that's the plan, Stan. And I got a white icon. That is just weird. Huh. Anyway, all right. So yeah, we're gonna go through some clips. I'm gonna lead the chat for a second. Well, actually, I could pull up my phone. Yeah. So anybody got any comments or anything you want to say about what we've seen so far? You guys have some great comments. I know a lot of people watch the replay, and there's a lot of great comments in the chat. Really, really good comments. So anyway, thank you for the comments and everybody's input, because it I don't see everything, so I like people's input and and just their point of view. You know what I mean? All right. So let me get the Italian girl. You've been stuck in the house for a week. Too hot out. Yeah, I hope Grace is doing well too. I think I'm gonna have to try to get a hold of her. Nancy. All right. So kind of got that up for now. All right. So we're just gonna go over some clips, and some of them might have been. I recognize his sweatiness and his beer beer drinking shirt. Um, so some of these are from last night that I clipped a long time ago. Let's see, last year. So let's see, where should we start? Let's see. I think you know what we should do? We should start at this cheese wheel story because and I was hoping that I had clipped the whole thing uninterrupted, and I did. It's about 11 minutes long. Um, let's see. Okay. So yeah, let's start with that because that's the longest, and then I got some short clips after that. All right, let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, and here is. Oh, you know what? I just saw on my list here. Remember, I told you guys that. Okay, so we all know that Robert Mast is the one that was with. He's the ex-Amish who did the Hail Mary of Hail Marys and got the deal with the Amish, supposedly, allegedly, according to them. And so remember that the Eric's big claim to fame is that he would helped him with the murder trial of his son, right? Um, so Robert Mast's son John, his life was taken, and then there was a big trial and all that, and that's where Eric was in July, and that's who the board of directors and all that. Good friend. And Robert's going to pull all this off. Well, what's interesting is I just noticed, and I told you guys that the man that gunned down Robert Mast's son, he's in prison, but his wife got a hold of me, and his wife says, of course they don't like Robert Mast, right? Or the Mast family, obviously. And I learned a new side of that story, by the way. There's two sides to every story. And how sure would you have to be that somebody is doing something to your grandchildren and that somebody is about to take them for the weekend? And how sure do you have to be in your head? I mean, he would have had to be 1,000% sure in his head that he was hurting the children in order to go there and take that man out, right? Well, his wife got a hold of me and she suggests that Robert Mast is the mastermind. That Robert Mast is the mastermind of this plan. And I thought, interesting. Was it Robert Mast? Was it Robert Mast's idea for this whole Amish thing, right? Because like Eric's going, remember, he was going to do the double wide in June. He's talking about the double wide. And then he comes back. I think it's either the first or the second visit. Then the double wide turned into a barnuminium. And then the barnuminium was going to be made by the Amish. And then the barnuminium turned into a log home by the Amish. And it just kind of morphed. And that woman, and that, believe me, they're in-laws, right? They're ex-in-laws. This family used to be, in-laws with the Mass family. That's right. There's three sides to every story. Theirs, yours, and the unbiased truth. That's right. And so, I heard about why her husband gunned him down. what the accusations were, and they were pretty bad. And they were absolutely 100% sure that this was happening, and that's why he took the man's life. And so it's not like they're at home just wondering and curious or got suspicions. No, they were so sure that they took him out. And he went to prison for it. And he said, he knows, I know I'm going to prison for this. So anyway, that woman, the wife of the accused man, the convicted man, says that that Robert Mast was probably, in her opinion, the mastermind of this whole Amish stuff. I just noticed I have a video up. It's public, and I put it up on November 19th of last year, and it says Robert Mast ex-in-laws come forward to speak out. Was Robert Mast the mastermind? And I really couldn't tell you in that video. I barely remember making it. But anyway, and then I have another one that's on private, and this is 2 minutes of is Robin Bashir speaks up about John Mast and Robert Mast. So I got her message here. It tells what their side of the story of what happened with them two little children. I think there were two kids. Anyway, they're going to do the custody exchange, and Grandpa said, "No, you're not," and bam, pow. And he was willing to go to prison for the rest of his life for it. And so, anyway, I have her message too. Maybe we'll go over that some other time. Okay, so we're gonna go over some things first. Well, no. First, we're gonna go over the cheese wheel story. Yeah. First, we're gonna go over how Robert Mast pulled this Hail Mary of Hail Marys off, and then we'll go into some of these clips. Okay, here it is. It's 11 minutes and 40 seconds. So that's probably going to take an hour to go through. Anyway, we're going to pull that up first. Here, one second. When I pull that up, I got to pause this here. Yeah, right? You got to respect the guy. I mean, he's what's going on in Washington State? Night town girl, everything okay? Huh. Yeah. Praying for Washington State? Huh. Yeah. So, good night, Tie-Dye. I heard somebody saying good night to Tie-Dye. Good night, Tie-Dye. Or I saw somebody, I should say. All right. So, let's pull up the cheese wheel story, shall we? All right, let's see. Cheese wheel story it is. All right. So, and this is okay. So this is that Friday, and now actually it was in that live stream that we watched a partial part of last night, and so this is the part where they tell their story. Hold on a second. Okay, this thing's kind of being difficult. I think I have too many tabs open. It's kind of. I wonder if he was even ex-Amish. Makes no sense that he would go to the Amish if he was excommunicated. Why would they want to do business with a shunned one? Yeah, that's been my question too. Actually, I think that woman, I think the shooter's wife told me. I got to read that letter again that she wrote because, or that big long thing she wrote because I think. Yeah, I think they said they were excommunicated. I have to read it again, but she did say in that letter that they weren't Amish anymore. I'm pretty sure. It's been like 8 or 10 months. I haven't seen it for a while, but I'm pretty sure she did say that. But I'll read it later. Or if we have time tonight, but we got kind of a lot to go through, so. Yeah, grab a hunk of cheese and have a seat. That's right. All right. So, and I mean, this is the Friday, the 5th of September, when he called off the deal, right? But over in the side, and Dwayne is literally caught in the middle, literally. Uh, he's kind of confused. He doesn't understand why Eric's just walking away. He's saying, "Why don't you sleep on it?" Like, what the hell is going on, basically? And all these people in the side chat are having a lot of questions. And not only the people in the side chat having a lot of questions, but they're also donating a lot of money to this house that he just said he's not going to build. So, anyway, let me see if I can maybe get this a little closer. So, as you can see, they got super chats coming in and all kinds of money. And some of these people were very angry because they didn't know. Last they heard hours earlier that Amish had agreed to do this. Hey, dear Jane. Yep. Oh, Jane, I saw. Wait a second. I just lost your comment, but yeah, I saw that. Wait a second. I'm trying to pull this up. Yeah, I saw. I saw that. Was a little an hour or two uh documentary thing that Scott Michaels put up today. He just put it up today, right? Yeah. Anyway, it's like an hour or two, but I've seen all Scott Michaels stuff on Helter Skelter, and it was yeah, he was there at the location, and he's been at quite a few times. So anyway, that was interesting. Good work by Scott Michaels. Anyway, so let's pull this up. Anyway, Jane, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling good. I'm going to try to get this a little closer here. Hold on a second. Because I don't know why it's so far away. Just don't. Maybe the cats moved the TV back on a second. I'm going to pull that up closer. I don't know what the hell they're doing. All right. Now I'm going to put up the closed caption so you can see. All right. So yeah, so this is the day that they said the Amish deal was on. Then Betty tells Eric that no, Timmy's not going home with you tomorrow. Then him and Robert Mast and Mark Doosh leave. They're supposedly getting permits and all this nonsense. And then they come back and then they see the tweaky fingers, in Eric's words, in the camper. And then he calls the whole thing off. But in the meantime, people are donating thousands of dollars continually for this house. Now, easily, Dwayne there could have easily turned off the donation stuff. He could have just, he knows how to do it. He could have went and just disabled any type of donations. But they really didn't say it. People are coming on. They're confused. They're like coming on ready to celebrate the Amish house. And Eric's giving all the reasons why Betty and Larry are horrible people. They can't be trusted. They're ripoffs. BJ's a monster and all this, and the deal is off. And so people are really confused. Dwayne's caught in the middle. But in the meantime, they're trying to explain how they just spent the last few days, instead of being at the so important restraining order for Betty, he was at the Amish, supposedly, allegedly. Well, at least we know he was at the coffee table making plays. Mm-hmm. And those coffee tables are like between $1,000 and $3,000. They're really expensive. You'll see them on even Facebook Marketplace. Anyway, so they did see the coffee tables and got some cookies. So anyway, here's his explanation of the Amish trip and why Robert was needed so bad. Now he's wrapping up his little story about Ray. He calls him Ray. I suppose as excuse me, I choked on that one. I suppose he's going to teach Ray Ray how to be 5 years old, just like he did to Timmy. I mean, wasn't that creepy and weird? You guys, I taught Timmy how to be a baby. Or what did he say? I taught Timmy how to be a little boy. Like, wait a minute. So you taught a 46-year-old man, 5 years older than you. You taught a grown ass man pushing 50 how to be a little boy? I mean, yeah, that was weird. Okay, so anyway, he's wrapping up the story about how he put the lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again. Hold on a second. Wait a second. I mean, he's okay. Seriously, he's talking about putting the lotion on Ray's knee or something like that, and then he's gonna get into the story. All right. Oops. Need some sound. Yes, we do. All right. All right, Eric, go ahead. Tell us about the.
That's what I always had as a kid.
Oh, I should turn it up. Oh, by the way, let me know how the sound is. If I need to turn this up or down or distort it or what happened. All right. All right. And Dwayne, look at the shit-eating grin he's got on his face. And he was laughing. Listen, he's in on it. In my opinion, he's 100% in on it. Because look at the look on his face. He's kind of lost. He's trying to keep up. He doesn't really know what he's supposed to be saying right now. He's trying to follow Eric's lead about the money or what's going on. Because he's literally caught in the middle between Eric and those comments. I mean, literally. And so he's trying to make sense of it, but he's also going along with it because when he gets to the map, the flood zone map, Eric flips us the bird, the middle finger, and Dwayne starts laughing. He had to actually cover his mouth because he knows Eric's flipping us off like, F you, you bunch of idiots. And like I said, I think he horribly underestimated people. He underestimated his audience because, like I said, in my opinion, these fundraisers and stuff, I think they've got, in my opinion, it looks like he's gotten away with it every single time. People might question it, but he just blows it off and goes on to the next thing. And so, I don't think he ever thought they were going to put this under, well, people like me are going to put this under a microscope. And maybe people like the West Virginia State Police are going to put it under a microscope. See, they didn't think that. And that's why his demeanor changed, his story changed and everything after Patrick got arrested. Then they started getting like a little nervous, him and Doosh, right? And so they're trying to get their story straight. Eric goes through a huge physical change from January to March, the next time we see him. And then the next time we see him in June, he's just like, good grief. He's really physically changed, but his story's changed, his demeanor changed, everything. Almost into like a panic mode. And so you just can only imagine why. So anyway, here we go. So we're going to get into this Amish story, the cheese wheel story. Yeah, exactly. Before we get to, I'm gonna address this. Now, I have addressed this before. Dwayne was hiding the big donations. People were pointing out, hey, there's $100 donations. Why aren't you putting that up on the screen? People in the chat kept pointing them out, and he ignored it. Absolutely. In fact, I remember there was even a $400 one, and Dwayne was only putting up the $1.99, $2.99, $4.99. In the meantime, you got $100 donations in the chat. And obviously, everybody can see them going up, you know what I mean? As you do, right? And so, and people know that, hey, you should recognize that, you know what I mean? You should give them a shout out. You're giving these $1, $2, $3 shout outs. And yes, many times, people were even putting all in caps, all capital letters. Dwayne, you missed a large donation. And he was purposely skipping over those. And because he was putting them up on the screen, as they came up, if they were very small amounts. The large ones, he just ignored. They stayed up there. Everybody could see them. But he highlighted on the screen the little tiny ones. Now, why? And yeah, so lots of people called him out on that. And so can't say it's just me and her that saw it, okay? Everybody saw it. Anyway, so let's check it out.
Medicating it twice a day. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, let me know how the sound is. I'll watch the chat. Yeah, so he's putting the lotion on the skin. What else, Eric?
It's important. Some people say not to put it on there. That's what I always say as a kid. Medicating it twice a day. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's talking about Timmy's head. He's going to cure the spot on Timmy's head with Neosporin. He said, I put Neosporin on his head. He's talking about Timmy. I put Neosporin on his head. Everybody told me not to, but I had that when I was a kid. Okay. Everybody's telling him not to. Because a lot of that stuff, you can't just pack the bacteria in there, you know what I mean? And just put something over the top of it. Because things fester, you know what I mean? It's better to keep it clean or whatever, air it out. Anyway, he don't know what he's doing. But yeah, everybody told him not to do it, not to put Neosporin on Timmy's head, and he did it anyway because his mom did it to him. And after all, in Eric's mind, his mother is Timmy's Nana, who sings about her in the shower. Go ahead.
It's important. Some people say not to put it on there. That's what I always had as a kid. I've been medicating it twice a day. I don't know if you saw it last night. That's pretty much non-existent. I don't know. It looked like that since I've known him. Yeah. It's pretty much gone. I'm afraid to know what it's going to look like now. I don't do that. Fast forward. Timmy stayed with him yesterday morning. We woke up early. We woke up early. I was late.
And here's where he tells the story that that his buddies, Robert Mass, some other stranger, and Mark couldn't get him out of bed. He was passed out cold. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, he was out cold and nobody could wake him up. And anyway, he'll tell you, because they were supposed to get rolling on this day of the Amish, you know, trip or whatever. Their free trip. Oh, shoot. That. Oops, knocked something over. All right.
Yesterday morning, we woke up early. We woke up early. I was late. I was an hour late. And these guys didn't wake me up. And they said, we figured you needed this sleep. And I'm like, no, dude, wake me up. And I was out. But it was good because it was raining and everything went perfect. Mr. Math, I saw, dude, they don't clarify for people. They just start making their own assumptions. It's all people like comment on Robert's picture, like, he's not Amish. Oh my God, not anymore.
And then nobody did this. Nobody said he's not Amish. Yeah, we all heard he's ex-Amish, and that's why people were questioning. It would make more sense if he was Amish. I mean, but he's not.
More ex-Amish.
Oops.
He lived most of his life as Amish, but he's not over there.
Look at this idiot, Dwayne.
He knew where to go, how to introduce because something that
he knew where to go. Hold on a second. He knew where to go, how to introduce. Now I looked it up. There is no special greeting or secret cheese wheel handshake or nothing like that. You got to be respectful of their culture and stuff, and that's about it. You know what I mean? And yeah, you can show up to them in person, make a deal, and sign a contract, and then whatever. But anyway, so yeah, he's trying to explain why, you know, Robert's there. And now Robert's sitting right to the right of him on his right side. Mark Doosh is on the left, his left side. And Robert Mass' secret friend that we don't know is also there.
I saw, dude, if you don't clarify for people, they just start making their own assumptions. It's all people who like comment on Robert's picture, like, he's not Amish. No, my God, not anymore. Ex-Amish. He lived most of his life as Amish, but he's not ever here.
That is really weird. To live most of your life as Amish and he's not anymore. So something happened. You know what I mean? I gotta read that letter that she sent me because yeah, I'm gonna lower. I don't know if that was on the recording or what. Hold on a second. Let me get this a little sharper. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear it okay.
He knew where to go, how to introduce, because something that you show up and say, hey man, I need you to build a house for somebody.
Okay. It's not like you can just show up and say, hey, I need you to build a house for somebody. No, that's exactly what you do. You can go to their community or whatever, and ask for a meeting or whatever. But yeah, that's exactly what you do. You say, hey, I need you to build a house, and then they'll tell you whether they can do it or not. They do have like a radius of mileage that they can probably practically, pull off to go because they don't drive. They have to have a non-Amish person do the driving and all that. So, but hey, Eric said this is going to be $1 million house. And I looked it up today. The taxes in Raleigh County, their property taxes are, I think it's like 4.6% or something like that. So if they had $1 million house plus probably 20 grand for the property, 1.2, you're talking about $5,000 a year in tax land, property taxes. I think probably right now they're probably $100 a year, maybe $200 a year. But all of a sudden the Whitakers would have to pay $5,000 a year taxes. You know what I mean? And why would you build $1 million home on property that Betty and Larry only own 1/10 of? You know what I mean? Anyway, dumb. All of it's dumb. So he was Amish most of his life, but he's not anymore. Can you tell us why not? I should ask that lady what happened with what happened with why isn't he Amish anymore? I should ask that lady. She was willing to talk to me too. Because she saw that I was talking about Robert Mass, and she just showed up and said, "Let me tell you about Robert Mass." we're the family that yeah. Anyway,
he's not there. He knew where to go, how to introduce, because something that you show up and say, hey,
he knew where to go and how to introduce. And like I said, that's ridiculous. You just go and introduce yourself. Not hard. Go to the county store. If they don't have a website and they don't have a phone number, whatever. And you know what really should have happened? Because obviously by now we see, in my opinion, 100% Robert Mass was not needed. Robert Mass' friend was not needed. Mark Doosh was not needed. What should have happened, because I guess it's less than an hour drive, what should have happened if they had to go to Pearisburg and talk to the Bishop Sam Chupp personally, then what should have happened, it should have been Eric, Patrick, Betty, and Larry. That's who should have went. And they all live right there. That's whose business it was. That's who should have went. Eric, Patrick, and if Patrick's got a broken leg, he can't go, which I doubt. But that's fine. Then Eric should have brought Betty and Larry. That's whose business it was. Forget Robert Mass with his round trip, his round trip plane tickets and the, several hour drive to pick him up in North Carolina with his friend. And another, what did Eric say yesterday? Then he drove a whole bunch of more time to go pick up Mark Doosh. And all this traveling and whatever. And then the Airbnb for him and all his buddies down in Pearisburg for a couple days, that was not necessary. It should have been Eric, and if not Patrick, it should have been Eric, Betty, and Larry. They could have drove there, talked to the bishop or whatever, and then they could have turned around, went home, slept in their own bed that night. But no, Eric had to have all his friends fly out from all different states, California, Idaho, I don't even know where the other guy came from. I think he said North Carolina or whatever. All that was not necessary. Airbnbs, airplane flights for 3 men coming different directions and all that. Totally stupid. All right, anyway. So yeah, so Robert was 100% unnecessary. Mark from California, 100% unnecessary. Robert's friend, obviously unnecessary. All of it was wasted money out of the Whitakers. You know what I mean? What color are his ears tonight? I don't know. They look brown. I don't know.
You need to build a house for somebody. There's this Laker family. You need to build a house. Yeah, okay, we'll be right there. Let me get my horse and buggy.
Okay, so he's saying that there's no way that you can. Here. I should have had that. He says there's no way that you can just go up and ask them, if they want to build a house. You just can't do that. Yes, you can. They want you to do that. If they build houses, they're waiting for people to come and ask them to build a house. They would go out of business if they didn't. I mean, it's so dumb. So yeah, he said it's not like he can just, ask them, hey, can you build a house? And they say, sure. He knew where to go, how to introduce, because it's not something that you just show up.
Something that you show up and say, hey man, I need you to build a house for somebody.
Yes, that's exactly what you say. Hey man, you do show up and you say, hey man, I need you to build a house for somebody. That's exactly what you do, Eric. Not my monkeys. Did you guys have to buy a cheese wheel and do a handshake and speak Pennsylvania Dutch and bring a translator with you that used to be Amish? You know what I mean? No. Nobody does. All right. Oops. Hold on a second. Oops. Hold on a sec. Hey man, I need you to build a house. All right. Hold on one second. My for some reason my video locked up. Even it doesn't. There you go. I think it's gonna restart. Let's see. Thank you. Can you tell a difference by clothing? The Amish and the Mennonites, I'll tell you how you can, I'll tell you how you can easily tell. The Amish have the black buggies and the Mennonites have the gray buggies. You can tell. Gray buggies are the Mennonites.
There's this Laker family. You need to build a house. Yeah, okay, we'll be right there. Let me get my horse and buggy. You know what I mean? I felt quite happen like that, guys. So.
Okay. It don't happen like that. You just can't go ask them. Oh, that's exactly how it happens.
We got to the store, and he started talking to the lady, and he bought a whole block of cheese.
Bought a whole block of cheese, yes. There's other ways you can tell, too. The way they dress. I forgot. I think the way their beards. I can't remember. There's other ways, but quickly from a distance, yeah, the gray ones are the Mennonites. And their rules are a little different. Let's see here. Okay, so we got to the store, and he started talking to the lady.
The store, and he started talking to the lady, and he bought a whole block of cheese.
And he bought a whole block of cheese. Look at this is one of his fish stories, except it's a cheese story. He bought a whole block of cheese. Look at how big it is. Like a 3-foot long block of cheese. Now, mind you, Robert's got a broken hip, a broken knee, or whatever. He's got to take a plane back to Idaho. But he's bought a block of cheese this big when he's got to go back on the plane tomorrow. Okay. What was that, about $300, $400? Well, put it on the Whitakers tab, right? Money is no object. They have to do this, you guys. They have to. Oh, this is so funny. So I just want to make a note because I just saw this comment. Somebody, for $7.99, somebody said, where do I find Patrick's page? Now, mind you, this is Friday, September 5th. Patrick was in the chat earlier, and he thought, everything was cool. And Patrick is in the Airbnb still. He's going to get kicked out at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning on Saturday. But Patrick's in the Airbnb, and he knows something happened with BJ. He doesn't really know what, but he's kind of mad about BJ, mad at BJ. So when this stream started, Patrick didn't know he was about to get, backstabbed. So Patrick comes into the chat at the beginning, and Patrick says something like, BJ's stupid, or BJ's a bitch, or BJ is stupid, or whatever. Said something derogatory about BJ. And Eric looked at the comment, and then he said something like, you guys, Patrick's not who you think he is. And then he shits on Patrick. And then, so people are like, wait a minute, what's wrong with Patrick? Because they just found out BJ's there, and the deal is off, and Betty's bad, and Larry's bad, everybody's bad, and now he doesn't even like Patrick. So people are saying, you don't even like Patrick either now? So people are like, wait a minute, this morning everything was wonderful. Now, hours later in the evening, Friday night, Patrick just got crapped on and told him to, basically kick rocks. Tomorrow morning, he'll be kicked out of the Airbnb at 7 a.m. And then, Betty, she's a horrible person. Larry's a horrible person. BJ's a horrible person. The family shouldn't even be there. And so people are really confused. And that's why somebody actually paid $8 to say, where do I find Patrick's? Because she wants to go find out Patrick's side of the story. Because, in fact, Patrick wants to know his side of the story because he just found out that not only did the Whitakers get kicked to the curb, BJ got kicked to the curb, but he also just got kicked to the curb. So anyway, he found out when we did that he's also on Eric's shit list. So anyway, I just saw that comment and it reminded me. And you know what? I don't even think Dwayne even acknowledged that. Because the last thing, in fact, I think I remember, he never put up Patrick's page, did he? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so he bought a whole block of cheese, like, the size of a yardstick.
And I could tell there's a strategy and everything.
And I could tell it's a strategy and everything going down there. We just sat back. I don't think he means in the boat. It's a strategy. And then look at Dwayne. Oh, yeah, Robert's got strategies that we don't know about.
He bought a whole block of cheese.
Yeah.
And I could tell there's a strategy and everything going on.
Oh, yeah. Go along with it, Dwayne. Yeah. Go along with it.
Speaking Pennsylvania Dutch. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that.
And he started speaking Pennsylvania Dutch. Now, this is what take notes, folks, because if you ever want to get an Amish builder, this is what you're going to have to do. Now, I don't know if Robert Mass himself will be available, but maybe you could find somebody else that got kicked out of the Amish, and to replace Robert Mass. But that's what you need. Bring a lot of cash, because those giant, yardstick long blocks of cheese are not cheap. Would have been hundreds of dollars. Just think about that. Anyway, the Amish. Okay, yeah. So they started speaking Pennsylvania Dutch, which is basically German. It's their, it's their style of speaking German, basically.
They started speaking Pennsylvania Dutch. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that. The Amish started with Eric, and so.
Did he just say their own language?
The Amish started with
their own language. No, it's not their own language.
It's actually German, but they call it Pennsylvania Dutch. They have their own dialect. For they doing that, and
Okay, here we got somebody helping her out. Dwayne is not going to tell you about Patrick's Facebook or anything, because that's all Patrick has, is Facebook. But somebody else is helping him out. Joy says, hey, Cassie, go to Facebook. Scooter says, Patrick Rourke. So they're trying to help. That's interesting. Just Me said, "Hey Cassie, thanks for your support." Is that Eric's wife or something? Why is this person thanking Cassie for giving money? Anyway, yeah. So you see how they're ignoring? They're not telling you where Pat. The last thing they want is Patrick's side of the story, and of course, in a few days, Patrick will be saying his side of the story. Listen, Monday the family's going to get taken away. This is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday the family gets taken away. Um, and Eric is, working with APS to do that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Patrick will realize he's been double crossed, and he'll be speaking out later. But yeah, so they didn't do, even though that woman gave a donation to ask that question. Where's Patrick's page? But Dwayne ignored it. All right, he started doing that. Okay, started doing that.
Ask for the bishop's name.
Okay, so Robert Mass is speaking Pennsylvania Dutch. He buys a giant wheel of cheese that's the size, was wide as a yardstick. So he's got this, it's like a car tire. So he's got this cheese wheel the size of a car tire, and he rolls it up to the checkout, and he speaks to the lady in Pennsylvania Dutch. And they're just sitting back because he's got doing his magic, right? And so I started doing that, and he asked for the bishop's name. So Robert Mass, after the ritual, the secret stuff, then he asked for the bishop's name. Because not like you can just go in the store and say, "Hey, I'm looking for the bishop to build me a building. Can I get his name?" No, you have to go through all this nonsense. So anyway, he does that. He goes, and now he's asking for the bishop's name. Go ahead. What else?
And then we did some shopping there. I told everybody about the cookie.
And then we did some shopping there, even though I'm sure, at this point, Robert's probably, shopped enough with his wheel of cheese. But he did some shopping there. I told everybody about the cookies.
I'll go back before I leave.
He's going to go back on the Whitaker's dime before he leaves and buy more cookies.
I asked for the bishop's name. And then we did some shopping there. I told everybody about the cookies. Freaking amazing. I'll go back before I leave and get some more cookies. I'm trying to be humorous. And that grocery store was amazing. Did you have no clue? I've never seen anything like it. I was seriously. I have my respect for them. Just said the reason. And those lights are not diesel. Just to get that out there for everyone. Yes, well, there you go. Any of the power that you saw, it was diesel generated.
Hold on a second. I'm reading these comments in the chat here. Can you all, what does this say? Can you, some advocate APS, do a guardian ad litem for Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine? So people in the chat are begging him to adopt Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine. This is what a mind Jedi this Eric is. He's actually got people begging Eric to take 3 of the Whitaker family members home with him, who he's only known like 2-3 weeks, total, and a couple days in June. So he only knows his family. He's supposed to be there. Remember, Eric wasn't even supposed to be videotaping. He was supposed to be editing and doing social media stuff. But here he is, got everybody convinced in the chat that he should take 3 of the Whitakers home with him to Georgia. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. This is like Jim Jones, you know what I mean? He's got these people drinking Kool-Aid, you know what I mean? Jugs of it. All right. I mean, if If Mark Latta came in and decided to take 3 of the Whitakers home with him, people have been outraged. Like, what are you doing? If oh, and you can't even say him because he's known them for 20 years or whatever. But say that other guy, what's his name? Travis, or that other guy that came and screwed everything up. Tony or Tyler Oliveira. If Tyler Oliveira came like Eric and did some footage and did some shady crap, now all of a sudden he says, I want to take these 3 home to wherever I live. People have been outraged, but Eric actually has people doing it. And look at BJ is disgusting. Tell me why BJ is disgusting. And tell me why the Whitakers are so bad. You know what the Whitakers did wrong in Eric's opinion? And a lot, and he's got people brainwashed. Eric did basically BJ did nothing. She never said a word through the entire time he ever videotaped. She was never on camera. You never really saw her do anything. Everything's on Eric's word, which we know you can't trust. Okay, so just for everyone out there, well, yeah.
There you go. The power that you saw, it was diesel generated.
And he doesn't feel one bit bad about calling this house deal off. Not at all. And do you remember all the times that he promised Timmy he was going to get a new home? Timmy, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get you a new home. Lorraine, we're going to get you a new home. Betty, we're going to get you a new home. All of them, he promised each one of them they were going to get a new home. Does he feel bad at all? Nope. He was looking for the first chance he's got to call this deal off because, it was never going to happen in the first place. So, yeah, okay. Diesel generated, yeah.
My first time, his house was absolutely amazing. Log cabin. But I could hear water running in the table.
Okay, and I do not even believe, that he went to the Amish person's house, Sam Krupp's house, or Chup. I don't believe he even went there because what he's about to say is what we saw in that article the other night when I showed it to you. Sam Chup of Parisville, Virginia. There's a whole website about his house, and I showed you. It had they showed the kitchen. The kitchen has water, a cold spring running through the house, and they basically kind of like seal up their food and they put it in that water that's running through their house, and that's their refrigerator. They showed that in the article. They showed the kitchen. They showed all this stuff. Everything he's about to say is in that article online that I showed you guys the other night. All right. It was my first time. Okay, so he went to the furniture factory, big whoop. Had nothing to do with the Whitakers or building a home. And that's the only business card he had was from the people that made the coffee tables. But this story that he never went, I don't believe for a second he went to the bishop's house. Because for one thing, well, we'll get to that. But I don't believe he did because everything he's about to say was in this article about the running water through the house for the spring, to keep the food cold.
His house was absolutely amazing. Log cabin. But I could hear water running in the tables.
Dwayne, keep up, okay? Those tables were from the furniture factory. They weren't from the bishop's house. They even admitted it. It was a tour in town. So no, the coffee table is something else, Dwayne. Try to keep up.
Water spigot that's constantly going into like this big concrete vat. And that's how they refrigerate their food.
Yep, and that was in the article. Showed it.
And I'm like, okay, never seen anything like that. But trust me, they're Amish, they're old school Amish. They just look modern. They don't need to see much of a difference. They learn to adapt. I was shocked when I had a bishop in my car.
He was shocked when he had the bishop in his car because I don't believe it happened. Not for a second, because you got to ask yourself. So they're at the Parisburg market. I can't remember the name of it. I could look it up in 2 seconds, but you saw it. There's a Amish store. And so they're there at the Amish store. They buy the cheese wheel. They speak Pennsylvania Dutch and whatever, ask for the bishop, right? Next thing, in the next scene, Eric is driving with the bishop in the car. Okay, back up, Eric. How did the bishop get down to the store? Huh? So the bishop came down to the store. How? And then the bishop bought some groceries. What was he going to do? Walk home with them? Did he walk down there and decided to hitch a ride with you? This makes no sense. Okay, they're at the store. They ask for the bishop. The bishop shows up. Now the bishop wants to ride in Eric's car? Give me a break. How did he get there? This is so dumb.
When I had a bishop in my car, he can ride, but he can't drive. Right.
Again, how did he get there, Eric?
It just looks modern. You didn't see much of a difference. They learned to adapt. I was shocked when I had a bishop in my car. He can ride, but he can't drive. Right. So we gave him a ride.
And you gave him a ride. By the way, in the chat it says, Eric, get a restraining order on BJ and Larry. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now these people live there. Oh, Larry was so bad, and Betty, because they didn't want to kick their daughter and their niece off the property where she's lived for 20 years. Why should they? Of course, you want to kick your family off the property because Eric doesn't like them? Because your family member is standing in the way with them ripping your family off? No, I don't care what the reason is. He's a YouTuber. That's not qualified to do anything except tell bullshit stories.
Looks modern. You didn't see much of a difference. They learned to adapt. I was shocked when I had a bishop in my car.
Oh, a bishop in your car.
He can ride, but he can't drive. Right. So we gave him a ride, and then we went and met with everybody.
And gave him a ride.
Several different Amish.
This is the devil's in the details. Devil's in the details, man. So he can ride, but he can't drive. And I was shocked. All of a sudden he's in my car. This is like a weird dream. Like all of a sudden I was shopping, and then next thing there was a Amish bishop in my car. That sounds like a weird dream. Like I said, where'd the bishop come from? Why did he go in your car? Yeah, BJ was throwing a monkey wrench into his plan. She was standing in the way of them wiping out the Whitaker's money. You know what I mean?
In my car. He can ride, but he can't drive. Right. So we gave him a ride, and then we went and met with everybody, and we had to meet with several different Amish, tell them the story, and keep them the whole time.
Wait a minute. So the bishop, okay, so they go to the cheese deal and all that, and then somehow the bishop shows up out of nowhere and wants to ride with him. He wants to ride home. But they didn't go straight home, but we gave him a ride, and then we went and met with everybody, and we had to meet with several different Amish. Okay, so the Amish bishop shows up out of nowhere. He hops in your car, and then he tells you, okay, we got to meet with all these people. This makes no sense. So he had to meet with several different people, several different Amish. All right, they had to go all these places. This makes no sense.
Amish tell them the story, and keep in mind, the whole time I'm doing this, I'm thinking 2 days ago, I got the family I'm trying to do this for, making it.
Okay. So the whole time the Amish bishop is driving around and they're making all these deals and talking to all these groups of Amish people, the whole time he's thinking, wow, this family's making accusations against me. Now, mind you, him and Doosh have spent half the week at adult protection. Eric has got restraining orders against everybody. Eric has been filling out papers to take Timmy away. Eric is bent on taking Timmy home. And he's trying to make people feel sorry. He's got all these accusations against me. Everything that they said was true. You're trying to split up the family, you're trying to take Timmy. Yeah. Everything they said was true. There's no accusations that weren't even true.
I'm thinking 2 days ago, I got the family I'm trying to do this for making accusations against me. That is still really uncomfortable, dude. You don't have a poker face, by the way. You don't have a poker face, by the way. No, it's public videos. Yeah.
Look at him sweating like a pig. Now he's been wiping his forehead off with his finger and then wiping his finger on his shorts. But he finally grabbed a napkin. I mean, I don't know if you can see how shiny he is. Look at his eye. He's sweating so bad. But he's been wiping his finger over his face and wiping it on his shorts. And Dwayne says, "You don't have a poker face." And then Eric got a little offended, like he probably didn't know what that meant. But there, go ahead, Eric.
No, it's public videos. Yeah.
No, it sucks. It sucked for me. I was being accused of trying to break the family up. No, 2 days ago, you were in the adult protection with Timmy, with adoption papers with Doosh. Yeah, we heard about it.
A poker face, by the way. You don't have a poker face, by the way. No, it's public videos. Yeah.
It sucked.
I was trying, and we looked and we pulled it up. Yeah. They said we respect what you're doing. And I asked any video that you saw, I got permission. They were okay.
They were okay with videotaping the slabs of wood in the garage.
With it. Try to clear up as much as I can. Guys, go to Google. Google's your friend. Yeah, or the Amish. There's several different types of Amish, but if you get permission, some of them are more strict, some of them aren't. But we got that lined up, and Robert Mass on the spot wrote a $500 check towards the.
Here we go. The 500. He wrote a 500. Even though the Amish didn't even agree, they said they're going to think about it, praying. And I looked that up too, by the way. I googled, do the Amish have to pray before they make a construction deal? And it said no. There's no routine or ritual or anything like that. So, okay, he wrote a $500 check, Robert Mass, yeah.
We got that lined up, and Robert Mass on the spot wrote a $500 check towards the Whitaker.
Oh, impressive.
He was the first one to put seed money.
Seed money.
And after, he bought his own plane ticket from Idaho and came over here and left his family.
Bought his own plane ticket, but remember, as Eric was furious driving down the road with Jeff, he said, "I'm going to reimburse all my friends. This is bullshit. I'm going to pay them all back." Yeah. He didn't buy his own ticket. But that's what he represented to the people who were bringing in money. That's what he represented to his business partners, Patrick, Larry, and Betty. He represented that all these men that are flying in from all over are doing it on their own dime. All right, your three business partners never agreed to have all your loser friends paid for. Alleged loser friends. All right, go ahead. You know what I mean? Imagine what that cost. Plane tickets for 3 other men. And by the way, the 5-bedroom Airbnb that was supposed to be for Whitakers ended up to be for him and his friends. He said he needed the Airbnb, a 5-bed Airbnb, because the Whitakers were going to stay there. And that turned into just Timmy and his friends.
I was on a plane ticket from Idaho and came over here and left his family. His his wife. So you can't later say, well, I'm mad. I didn't get my way. Now I'm going to take all the money my friends spent and make you guys pay for it. No, your business partners didn't approve this. You can't say everybody's going to pay their own way and then later, when you get mad, say, no, now I'm going to take all my friends, I'm going to pay them all back out of our money, your money. This got to be illegal. You know what I mean? 100 different things, reasons. Probably Marjorie. And after he bought his own plane ticket from Idaho and came over here and left his family, whom his wife had just got a broken femur and hip surgery. Some of the most loving people you will ever see in your lives, guys. And he's not very loving. The most loving people, is that what he said? The most loving. That's not a very loving husband. Leave your 80-year-old wife with titanium plates in her leg and go to what? Play this Amish game with your buddies? We have a very close relationship. He sure does. He sure does. And that's why this is a conflict of interest. And we've seen where he says, that, well, all right, so we already seen that he's on the board of directors and all that stuff. But we've seen where he said, in fact, I think it's coming up. We've seen where he said, and it might be in this clip, that we were going to collect the funds and hand them to the Amish. Wait a minute. Who's going to collect the funds and hand them to the Amish? Exactly. These guys are going to be middlemen, and I believe they're going to probably have Robert Mast as the middleman. Oh, he's such a good. Why does he keep repeating over and over what a good man, honest man, salt of the earth, best guy ever, Robert Mast? Why is he selling him so hard to us? Because he was going to be, in my opinion, he was going to be the go-between. He was going to be, it was all going to go into Robert's hand, and Robert would, dole it out to the Amish or whatever. Not that it would actually happen, but I think that's what they were going to say. And that's funny. Somebody in the chat called Pine Knot Yoder said, I grew up Amish. That's interesting. A Yoder, a Yoder toter is Yoder is basically Amish. So a Yoder toter is somebody who drives the Amish. My sister was a Yoder toter. She used to drive the Amish people. And then she said they got too bossy. Anyway, hold on a second. All right, go ahead. Just got a broken femur and hip surgery. Some of the most loving people you will ever see in your lives, guys. And we have a very close relationship. Yeah, so I'll tell you, too close. If I was going through this and didn't have Mark and Robert here right now, they were here for a reason. God knew he was. Okay. Now God intervened. This is God. God intervened and brought Robert and Mark with Eric. Now notice he's never once said that Mark came in as the project manager. And yeah, but now he's been, their story changed. But no, I'll tell you, what do you mean? You don't know? I don't know what I would have done. Oh, that fun trip wouldn't have been as fun with just by yourself and Betty and Larry. I'll tell you what you would have done. You would have done what you're supposed to do. Bring Betty and Larry. Let your friends call them later and tell them how it went. I don't know why. What was so hard about it? What was so hard about going to the Amish and eating cookies and going to the factory? I mean, act like he just, went through something traumatic, which is ridiculous. Look at him sweating. Look at him sweating. Working Robert here right now. They were here for a reason. God knew what he was doing. Yeah, God knew. Don't drag God into this. A very successful day, and I was like, man, I can't wait to tell Betty they're going to do it. And this was my plan from the very beginning. All right. I thought about the 501c3 in the beginning, but once I met with Robert,
Uh-huh. I thought about a 501c3 in the beginning. And if you don't know, that is a nonprofit organization. But he doesn't like that word nonprofit, okay? Why even wake up in the morning, right, Eric? And over here, there's a $5 donation that probably Dwayne won't put up, but it says, "Thanks, Eric and Patrick, for everything you're doing for Timmy. Love you, Timmy." Yeah. He ain't gonna put that up because right now they just dog the hell out of Patrick. They're done using Patrick. Now they literally kicked him to the curb like a football. So yeah, Patrick, you're done in this story. They've used you. They chewed you up and spit you up.
I thought about a 501c3 in the beginning, but once I met with Robert.
But once I met with Robert and the Amish guy talked about it, you know, that Bashir woman might have been right. Maybe Robert was the mastermind. Maybe Robert Mast is the mastermind. That's what she said. And this right here is pretty much almost confirms it. As he's sweating like a pig. We had a very successful day.
But we had a very successful day. And, I was like, man, I can't wait to tell Betty.
Man, I can't wait to tell Betty. Yeah, some bullshit story.
To do it. And this was my plan from the very beginning. I thought about a 501c3 in the beginning.
I've thought about a nonprofit organization, but once I met with Robert Mast.
Talked about, yes, they have a financial committee.
No, then they said, you know what, forget the nonprofit. They have a financial committee. Now listen carefully. They have they talked to, he changed his mind. Robert talked him into this Amish stuff. So yeah, like I said, this kind of coincides. Maybe Robert was the mastermind. Okay, listen carefully. And the Amish guy talked about it, and it's like, yes, we have a financial committee. And I don't listen. The Amish people are not going to be doing fundraisers. They're not going to. They don't have anything electronic going on. They're not going to do GoFundMe's. They're not going to nothing. They want you to hand them some cash so they can put it in their big wooden box at home with a padlock on it. All right, so we wouldn't be okay. So listen, Carrie. I thought about the 501c3 in the beginning.
The Amish talked about, yes, they have a financial committee. We would have been able to get the donations.
There you go. Right there. We would have been able to get the donate. Who's we? Eric and Robert Mast. We would be able to get the donations, and it would have been straight to the bank in the Amish community. Right there. I told you there's no way for Amish people to take in donations. Not organized. You know what I mean? That's not what they do. But here's the plan. And I said there's got to be a middleman. You can't. It's not. There has to be a middleman. The donations have to electronically come in from everybody into somebody's bank account, and then that bank account person has to write a cashier's check or get some cash or something and hand it to the Amish. And that's exactly what he said. I thought about the 501c3. Robert told him, no, let's do this Amish bullshit.
They have a financial committee.
They have a financial committee.
We would have been able to get the donations.
We would have been able to get the donations. Yeah, Robert might have been the mastermind. No, forget the 501c3. We'll do this Amish thing. That way we'll get the donations and we'll tell them that we're giving it to the Amish. We will get the donations and we'll get it to the it would have went straight to the bank. Because you know how good Eric is with money, right? He's so good with money. When he gets money for somebody, he gives it straight to them, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. I'm sure it would have probably went into Robert Dunlap's trust account, and then the Amish would get it when they die, right? It's about how stupid it is.
Financial committee, we would have been able to get the donations, and it would have went straight to a bank in the Amish community.
See?
Where they have a
Bam.
Just one person. They have a committee.
Bam.
Watch over that and protect.
Yeah, they have a committee to watch over whatever you decide to hand them after you've had your paws on it.
And that was my goal from the very beginning.
I bet it was.
Anybody wants to say you're doing this for money or you're doing a scam or what? I can't. The money, it goes to them.
After it goes through your hands. There's no direct way to give it to the Amish. And he just said, we would have collected the money and it would have went straight to the Amish. Right?
Look, not in my hands. I know that kind of stuff happens. That's why I didn't want the money. So,
and that way he'll say, you guys, the Amish, all your donations are going to the Amish. Right. They would have went into their account first, Eric or Roberts, and then it would have, whatever they decided to give the Amish would have went there.
They liked it. That idea, and they said they respected me for setting that up. They said we can see why
they respected him for setting this up. That's ridiculous.
They want to separate yourself.
You think the Amish said, Eric, we respect you for setting up this bunch of bullshit that ain't gonna work? There's no way they said, we respect you for doing anything. Why would they respect you for doing what? I mean, this makes no sense.
Respecting me for setting that up. They said we can see why you would want to separate yourself.
The Amish said, can you believe this? This whole Amish committee and the bishop, they said, Eric, we respect you for trying to separate yourself from the money. We can see why you'd want to separate yourself. Now, it's such bullshit. Amish ain't going to say that. No, who would say that? Unless they know that you've been having trouble with money, donation stuff, money going unaccounted and stuff. Then they could see why you'd separate yourself. Otherwise, why would they think you should separate yourself from the money? Makes no sense. None of it does. And they said, we respect you and we can see why you want to separate yourself. Right there's a lie. I mean, wow.
We can see why you would want to separate yourself. I don't want to be looked at as a televangelist,
Televangelist. Wow.
So the plan today was, let's go get the permits because the Amish said we would need to get the slab and we would need to get the permits. So we started our day off with code enforcement and then started making our rounds with the zoning, whatever's home is right now. Nobody knows.
Now he's going to drop the bombshell. He's going to drop the bombshell on Dwayne. Nobody knows this, but Whitakers don't even own that property. Okay, shouldn't you have learned about this long before you even set up these trips with all your friends and their airplane flights and hotels and stuff? Airbnbs, right. Now they're going to find out about the land. Nobody knows this, Dwayne, but they don't even own the property. And watch the look on Dwayne's face.
Where Whitaker's home is right now. Nobody knows it. It's not on their own land. Oh, yes. Wow. They have 17.6 acres.
Look at the look on Dwayne's face. Like, are you kidding? The property's not even in your name, and you've already made all these trips with all these guys and spent all this money, and now you're finding out the Whitakers don't even own that property? Yeah, that's the look I'm seeing on his face. Because it's the dumbest thing. Now you find out? Now, mind you, he's been there since June with this pipe dream. And it is now September, and he's just finding out that they don't own the property. Not where their house is anyway. They own across the street where the trail used to be. I mean, look at Dwayne's face. Like, yeah, once in a while you can see the truth. Like, wait, what? Why wouldn't you know this ahead of time? Yeah, they're just demonizing Betty and Larry in the chat. They want BJ and Larry to go to jail. Like, okay. Wow. Wow.
Yes. Wow. They have 17.6 acres. But where that house is not on their name. Somebody named Brannick LLC out of Princeton owns it. There has never been a Whitaker on it. We have confirmed that with like 5 different places. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think maybe somebody in the past maybe had.
Now, okay, so they just found this out today, but they found out from 5 different sources that the Whitakers never ever owned that property. What really happened was they were across the street. They grew up across the street. The parents' house was across the street. One of the sisters had a house in the back across the street. They all lived across the street, and at some point they spilled over to the other side of the road. Right? They kind of just spilled over to the other side, kind of like Patrick spilled over to the other side. Anyway, they just spilled over to the other side. That's all. Oh wow! Off grid, simply happy Rodriguez says, "Stop effing donating." That's right. And you know what? Eric and Dwayne are allowing people to continue to donate to a house that's not even going to happen now.
Done a deal for their parents, and once the home goes on it, you no longer get homestead exemption. Big difference in taxes if you.
Yeah, big difference in taxes too if you go from a mobile home on some, on some undeveloped property, basically. So you go from a mobile home to $1 million mansion. What do you think the taxes are going to do then? Forget the homestead. The homestead, yeah, that'll cost more. But you know what $1 million house will cost? Yeah, so you imagine Whitakers having to come up with $5,000 every year for their taxes? Because that's what it'd be on $1 million. I looked it up.
You no longer get homestead exemption. Big difference in taxes if you.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you picking up? Are you picking up about the skyrocketing taxes? They would never be able to afford. The first year taxes came up, they'd be delinquent. Second year, they'd owe $10,000. Third year, they'd owe $15,000. Pretty soon, taxman's got your property, got Whitaker's property. You know how dumb this is? Who's going to pay the $5,000 taxes each year?
You no longer get homestead exemption. Big difference in taxes if you pick up on what I'm saying. Yeah. When the home goes on it, those taxes are going to spike. So I think somebody really done them a favor. And so we were trying to look, and in the zoning today, we found that they have no septic tank. So they runs into the creek. Never heard anything like this before. House I grew up in, actually. Really? Yeah. Their septic ran to the creek. Yeah, I found out about it years later. I was an adult by then, and
pretty much all houses used to just drain into a field or whatever. It's not.
Flood had come from Missouri originally, and
probably most of the homes in the holler do that. You know what I mean? Houses up here do it. Mine did it before I got a septic put in. Mine was a drain filled septic before I got a mound system. A lot of houses, a lot of places have just a drain system. It just goes out into wherever. Swamp or whatever.
The flood had come through, and I was trying to figure out what to do with my parents' house, and learned that there was a pipe went straight right up to the river. Please tell me you never swam in it. I was from Missouri, of course I did. Of course, that's why I'm still alive today. It was either I'm going to get some form of cancer or live to 100. Yeah, that's why
And somebody in the chat says, sell the property, give Larry share, and make him leave. Like, what planet are these guys on?
Right, explains a lot. Well, I had never heard of anything like that. But anyway, before.
And you know, if they were going to build a new house and they're worried about BJ living in it and beating everybody up, they could have just said, okay, the Whitakers can live in the new house, the new log home. BJ can live in the house across the street. She probably would prefer it. She'd probably be happy living in the old house. And you know what I mean? So there was already a house for BJ to live in. So this is all bullshit.
Yeah, that's what so right, explains a lot. Well, I had never heard of anything like that. But anyway, before rednecks do. But not only that, that creek is like right behind their house. And then I wanted to protect them from all those people showing up because they're
another bullshit, because they said, you know, back 30 years ago, yeah, somebody threw a rock through their window or whatever. Somebody else said it, that was Patrick. That did it. But anyway, now they made it, they clarified. They said now Betty and Larry, the Whitakers, they like when people pull up because they usually have a gift or something or money or something. They like when people pull up. So, I want to protect them from all those people showing up. So we're going to put it back. We're going to hike back in the back 40. That's not what they want. Like I said, their house is almost touching the street. You know what I mean? That's the way they like it. I would never live inches from the street, but they like it. Like I said, Timmy runs and gets the mail and talks to everybody, talks to the mailman and just people, you know, they love it. Oh, I want to protect them. I want to make it really stupid and impossible. I want to make this pipe dream even more explosive than it already is.
Doorstep, the bottom of the porch, like right in front of it is the road. Yeah, well, I saw it. Yeah, and the road is right on their porch. I'm like, I get it, you want to live in the country, but if you got cars, that don't really feel like the country. You got 17.6 acres. Why in the world would you do that? Because I have to move it anyway. Right off zoning, they're in the flood zone. Even all the way to where Larry's camper was, that's in the flood zone. She had a sister at one point in time named Judy, whose house was on the back. And if you go on which video, I think it was on Ray, I was getting ready to get a haircut, and I'm saying, hey, baby, here's my idea. I was thinking about making you a driveway right here.
And remember, somebody caught this part. He said, I was thinking of, he just said, this was my idea, and I pitched it to Betty. But at another time, he says, it was Betty's idea. She told me she wanted there. Somebody caught this. He says that, and he also says, I asked Betty, should you want it back there?
And I'm saying, hey, baby, here's my idea.
Here's my idea. And then at other times when he tells the story, he said, this was all Betty's idea. Right here. Hey, Betty, here's my idea. I was thinking about making you a driveway right here. Go back into the woods. His idea. And then later when everybody said, no way, that was, Betty didn't want that. Then he changed the story to, no, Betty did want it. It was her idea, not mine. So yeah, this is a good catch. Somebody cut.
I was ready to get a haircut, and I'm saying, hey, baby, here's my idea.
Here's my idea.
Making you a driveway right here. Get you on back in there. Clear you off the spot. Put your home back in there. That way, you won't have everybody up in your business. You can put up some cameras. She's like, I always wanted a home back there.
She did not.
And yeah, that comes to play later. Just how it's so. Betty said you were going to put that home back there, but she doesn't want it there. I'm like, huh?
Larry said, you're talking about putting the home way back there. She don't want it there. You don't think Larry knows what Betty wants? If Betty wanted it in the back, he wouldn't say anything. He's speaking up for Betty, saying she don't want it back in the woods. Who does? And who's going to plow it? And you know what? Listen, A lot of people out here where I live out in the country, and most of us have dirt driveways that actually turn into mud fests in the spring. My neighbor needs a tractor to get out of his driveway. His is 75 feet back into the woods, and they need a tractor to get out. And they're like in their 80s, and they're still driving a tractor to get out to the road. Um, that's exactly what I mean, they're going to be back in the woods, and you have to have a plow service. Who in the hell is going to get out there? Which one of the Whitakers is going to get out there and shovel or plow 1,000 feet of driveway? Mm. And not to mention, oh, and as a matter of fact, there was a clip, and I got to look for it. But there was a clip where they were riding in the car. And I'm pretty sure it was when the brother was when on his second trip in the beginning of August, he was there with his brother Sean. And Larry was in the back seat, and they were talking about, hey, we could put, and they were talking about this, and he said, hey, we could put the new home way back in the woods. And Larry says, no, he said, no, it would be too expensive. He said, why? And Larry said, because they want $1,000 for every telephone pole. He's already looked into it for wherever he crossed the street or whatever. He said they want $1,000 a telephone pole, and you'd need multiple telephone poles to get back there. And he said that. So Larry was way against it. And that was probably the day they were going to get the haircuts. But Larry said, no, you can't. He said it's I don't know, maybe it was more than 1,000, but he said the cost of these, each pole is outrageously expensive. Anyway, so I remember that.
So Patrick, so I don't know. It's just
okay, and he brings up Patrick. Now I have a clip of Patrick. Talking about this bullshit.
There. That way, you won't have everybody up in your business. You can put up some cameras. She's like, I always wanted a home back there.
No, she didn't.
And yeah, well, that'll come to play later. Because now I was told, I bet he said you want to put that home back there, but she doesn't want it there.
No, she don't.
I love Patrick. So I don't know.
Look at how he changed mid-sentence. And Larry said, no, she don't want it back there. And then Patrick, yeah. Patrick what? Because I'm going to show you guys what Patrick said later.
There. I love Patrick.
That Larry said she don't want it there. I'm like, I'm Patrick. So I don't know. See? He was going to say something about Patrick, but Patrick knows damn well they don't want it in the backwoods. Who would? Not only that, but these guys are all like pushing 70s and 80s and stuff. Ridiculous. Obviously, he's never lived it back in the woods.
So I don't know. It's just been a lot of back and forth.
And I got to pay a plow guy just to get out of here. And so they would have to pay a plow guy. It's not cheap, guys.
Okay.
And they would have to have a 4-wheel drive because nobody's getting in and out of there without 4-wheel drive. In the snow and in the spring, no way. Once it dries up and it's, June, maybe July, August and stuff, yeah, then you can drive in and out. But spring, nope, you need 4-wheel drive.
Anyway, that was what we found out was zoning. So we were going to come back, and this was going to be my first time seeing them since the other.
Yeah, first time seeing them since the other drama. They had a bunch of drama on Wednesday before they left because why? Because Eric and Doosh were bringing Timmy down to adult protection. They met him in a coffee shop that just opened. They had a spare room, and Eric and Doosh met adult protection and brought Timmy down there. And then I think that's what the drama was about. And then they all leave, right? Knowing that tomorrow is supposed to be the restraining order. But nope, he skips town.
We're going to come back, and this was going to be my first time seeing them.
Since the other drama. Drama.
And I went there and just...
I don't think the Whitakers probably had much drama in their whole entire life. Since Eric showed up, there's been nothing but drama. I think they've been more drama since Eric showed up than they've ever seen in their life combined. And now we've got showed up and there was drama, and that was the first time I saw him since the last drama when I saw him. Nothing but drama.
So we were going to come back, and this was going to be my.
And you know what? Whitakers aren't built for drama. They're not built for it. They all like melt when people yell at them. You know what I mean? Why? Because they're vulnerable adults. And that's what vulnerable adults do. And that's why Patrick was charged with exploitation of 5 vulnerable adults. Every single one of them are vulnerable adults. And so you bring in drama and anger and stuff. Yeah, these people just curl up. They don't even know what to do. Not even Larry will fight back. Why? Because he's a vulnerable adult. He's a senior citizen. He knows Eric could knock him out one punch. So he don't want to start no crap. Plus, Eric owes him tens of thousands of dollars. Plus, they're supposed to get a house. So they're trying to, just cope with Eric and his drama. Anyway. Oh, boy. I mean, if he doesn't get arrested, I don't know.
So, I don't know. It's just been a lot of back and forth, guys. Anyway, that was what we found out was on me. So we were going to come back, and this was going to be my first time seeing them since the other drama had went on.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there and just acted like water under the bridge. Not going to think about it.
Yeah, for you, Eric, it's water under the bridge. You traumatized the hell out of this family. They're probably relieved you left for a day or two. I'm sure they were. When you came back, you traumatized the hell out of them again. You caused all that drama. You scared the hell out of everybody. We saw it. Timmy held the newspaper up just to shield between you and him. Nothing but drama. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I went there and I just acted like water under. You ever know somebody like that? They cause a whole bunch of shit, a bunch of bullshit. They cause trouble, all this stuff. And the next time you see them, what? You still mad? Yeah. Yeah, I just act like water under the bridge, right? Because it's not your family being destroyed. It's not your money being taken away. It's not your family that's getting taken advantage of and ripped apart. It's not your family that has to go to family court because some YouTuber wants to adopt one of your family. I mean, good grief.
Act like water under the bridge. Not going to think about it. I'm here. Even if I'm not on the greatest terms with them, I want Timmy to have a bedroom too. I see what just having a bedroom and a bed and a little love did for Timmy.
And a little love. I've mentioned this many times. I was always very impressed with the amount of love in the Whitakers. All them videos with Mark, Maeda, nothing but love. They all love each other. They're smiling. They're happy. Well, I just wanted to show him a little love. All right, shaving all his hair off, putting him in baby clothes, and having him hop in bed with you. That's not showing him love. Even if I'm not on the greatest terms with the Whitakers, oh man, I wish somebody would. And they did. The family kept telling Betty and Larry, all the peripheral family, people that don't even live in the house, were saying, get rid of Eric. He's breaking your family up. And I think that's why after the family got taken, nobody helped the Whitakers, because they said, I told you so. We told you all summer this was happening. You didn't do anything about it. I think that's why nobody's helping them. All the family was warning, Eric's going to break your family up. He's going to rip your family apart. And they didn't listen. They probably didn't know what to do. They're rocking a hard place. He's got all our money. You know what I mean? He's supposed to give us a house. We're vulnerable. We don't know what the hell we're doing. Anyway, even if I'm not on the greatest terms with him, all because of Eric,
I want Timmy to have a bedroom too.
I want Timmy to have a bedroom too.
I see what just having a bedroom and a bed and a little love did for Timmy. And for anybody that can't see.
And there's not a night that went by in Timmy's life where he didn't have a bed. So there's that.
Transformation in Timmy, you're blind. If you can't see the transformation in Ray.
You know what? This is true. There was a transformation in Timmy, and it wasn't a good one. And there was a transformation in Ray, and it wasn't a good one. Because for the first time ever, I saw Ray with a sad face. A sad face. And I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was on Labor Day, Monday, Labor Day. I think it was September 1st, whatever. It was Labor Day, that Monday, when he rolled in the TV. You look at Ray's face. I've never seen Ray with a super sad face like that. He looked so miserable. And he kept going for the door and pulling on the door. And they said, okay, we got to get going. Ray wants to leave. And Timmy, as far as Timmy, that's being with Eric. Yeah, there was a transformation. The first time I ever saw Timmy cry was with Eric. The first time I ever seen Timmy whining and moaning was with Eric. First time I ever seen Timmy crying to go home was with Eric. The only time I ever seen, Timmy hating his family is when he's with Eric and Patrick. Patrick said, call BG a bitch. Bitch. Call Kenny an asshole. Asshole. Call your cousin Jason an asshole. Asshole. Yeah. So it wasn't a good transformation. And the transformation I saw was a man who was 46 years old with a beard and a mustache, a grown-ass man, turned into a 5-year-old, being taught how to stick his butt out and twerk by Eric and dance for the camera. It was a horrible transformation. Shouldn't have brought that up.
Bed and a little love did for Timmy. And for anybody that can't see the transformation in Timmy, you're blind. If you can't see the transformation in Ray Lorraine, go look at Lorraine earlier today when I showed up and she said, hey, they're here, and she runs and hugs me, guys, and free.
She ran and hugged him? Oh, let me see that, Eric. She did not run and hug you. She actually was sitting in the chair and she pushed you away with her cane. You and Robert Mass. She was pushing you away. I never seen nothing like it. When Mark Leda showed up, yeah, she was happy. She invited him in. She was, giving him hugs and stuff. When you showed up, every time you showed up, she got worse and worse. Yeah, there was a transformation, all right. She knew that something bad was happening.
Rain earlier today when I showed up and she said, hey, they're here, and she runs and hugs me, guys.
Ran. She ran and hugged him. Nope. And as a matter of fact, Lorraine ran inside. When they're on the porch, I can go back and look, but I'm 99% sure Lorraine ran inside when Eric came. Because I'm 99% sure she was not on the porch when Eric was screaming at everybody. Timmy was there, Betty was there, and Larry was there, but I don't remember Ray being around, and I don't remember Lorraine being around on that porch. She definitely didn't run and hug Eric. That's made up bullshit.
She runs and hugs me, guys, and breaks my heart. Ray's the same way. He don't say my name, but he's going to come up and he's going to shake my hand and he wants his knees straight. But there's been a big improvement, and I said, you
see how he wipes his forehead and then wipes it on his shorts? Watch.
But there's been a big improvement, and I said, you told him you're going to get in that bedroom, and I want to follow through with it.
But you didn't. You didn't. You made promises to everybody, and you didn't keep it.
One way of maybe breaking the ice was like, guys, I'm going to go buy them some supper before I go. And I went and bought them 3 pizzas. And I called Betty and told her we need to come back and give her the news about the Amish and this okay. Oh, you got it. They were elated. They were head over heels happy. Oh, yeah. What kind of heat am I going to have? And they were going to have heated floors. They explained everything. And I said, baby, everything was going to happen. It was going to. We were going to. It was almost happened. We almost did it. I was told you might have a problem having your house back there. No. She said, I'd love to have it back there. That's bullshit. And even Dwayne doesn't believe it. You see that? Even Dwayne doesn't believe it. Watch. She said, I'd love to have it back there. And yeah. And she said, I never said that. And then there was another. Kindy King in the chat says, Eric, you don't look well. I'm worried for you. Look at that. Eric, you don't look well. I'm worried about you. Yeah, he doesn't look well. And that's one of his supporters. Accusation. I was told that somebody was telling me, I said, Eric, you Jimmy's daddy on Facebook. All right. That's the end of that. Goodness gracious. All right. So let me look in the chat real quick. Where are we at? Oh, we're almost at 2 hours, you guys. Dang. I might have another night of clips. I don't know if we're gonna get through all this tonight. Like I said, I knew it'd take an hour at least to get through this, but all right. Let me see if we can go through some other ones. I don't know if we're gonna make it through all these. But yes, that was the Amish clip. Now we got okay. And remember how he started to talk about Patrick? And he said, yeah, and Patrick, yeah. All right, so we're gonna see what Patrick says about Betty in the house and all that stuff. So we got the Amish cheese wheel story out of the way. Let's see what else we got here. Robert Mast, okay. All right. All right, we're gonna set up. Okay. Okay. Now this one is when Eric was rushing back. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go through some shorter ones first, just so we could maybe try to get through some. I got a lot, you guys. I got about 40 clips about the Amish. So I want to go through some of the shorter ones, maybe pound those out. Yeah, none of it is consistent, that's for sure. I wondered about when the camera's off when he had Timmy. Yeah, he did. Called 911 for a reason. He called like, what'd they say, 15, 20 times or 60 times? Just I don't even remember the number. Yeah. That was weird. A weird time with the family sitting around while Eric gave them a used TV. Yeah, they all looked unhappy, didn't they? They did. They all looked miserable. That's the first time I saw Ray with a really sad face. Yep. Yeah. Hey, Rachel. Good to see you tonight. Welcome. Yeah, time flies when you're passionate. This guy is definitely capable of killing someone. I tend to agree with you on that. Yes, the kittens have been secured. Nothing is broken tonight. Yeah. Actually, they just ate a whole bunch of food before I came on, so they're passed out. I think so. And I compromised with them. I made them a deal. If you want to come on my desk, you're going to have to go in this box over here. I got a box. That's it. Box or nothing. Yeah, you gave me a couple watery eyes with all the transformation facts. Yeah, Timmy crying, race face. Exactly. Yeah, he definitely.
Yeah, there was a transformation already. You shouldn't even said it. All right, let's see what this one says. Amish and trust fund for transparency. Mark treated them bad. Okay, let's see what this one is. And this was when he's rushing back. And I'm going to tell you, sometime I should probably do a video with my calendar. You guys, my calendar is so, so beat up. You barely even read it anymore. But I'm going to show you and I guess I've showed it exactly the time where they decided to get rid of BJ. And especially on that second payday, that's when all of a sudden BJ wants money. All of a sudden Whitakers don't want to talk to them, and all of a sudden, hey, you guys, instead of paying Betty and Larry, let's put their money into a trust account, and then not go put it in a trust account. It's been almost a year, and he still hasn't put it in a trust account because he was never going to put it in a trust account. He's had a whole year now. Now, is it still Betty's fault? Bring back the calendar? Yeah, I should. It's pretty battered up, man. It's pretty beat up. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay, yeah. So this is the second meeting. This was the first week in August. And by the way, they had.
I'm thinking about getting y'all smarter than anyone.
Hold on a second. Eric, quiet. This is when he came back the second time with the Whitakers. And the double wide has turned into a barnuminium. All right. And then the barnuminium is going to turn into an Amish barnuminium. And by the way, the pizzas that he's getting are free. All right. And I think this is where he shows how they put the cheese in the pizza, but I'm not sure.
We'll make it happen one day. I'm thinking about getting y'all a barnuminium.
A barnuminium.
I don't know. The Amish might have a better idea. I'm going to tell you, if the Amish comes down.
This is when, so the first visit was going to be a double wide or something. Look at the look on Larry's face. A what? A barnuminium. Well, anyway, after the first visit, Eric went and spent the entire month with Robert Mast. And when he comes back straight from Robert Mast after the entire month of July, he goes straight to the Whitakers. Now he's got an idea to involve the Amish. Oh, I see. So after you spent a month with Robert Mast, you go back to the Whitakers and say, hey, Amish people should get involved. Yeah, really. And look at the look on Larry's face.
We'll make it happen one day. I'm thinking about getting y'all a barnuminium.
A barn? A what?
I don't know. The Amish might have a better idea.
Now he's just casually sliding in the Amish.
I'll tell you, if the Amish comes down here to build y'all's house, you're going to have a very, very nice house.
Okay, now they're hearing about Amish. Hey, if the Amish build your house, the barnuminium, you're going to have a really, really, really nice house. Right, because Robert, the mastermind, told him, go back there and tell them the Amish, we're going to get the Amish involved. And he's like, they ain't going to question nothing because I'm in charge.
Very nice.
And then he puts this up. Now, mind you, this is August. He's been working with them since June. We're into August. And Eric writes, we should be going to meet with the Amish within the next month. It has not happened yet, but should be soon. Now, because he's been, planning this with Robert Mast for the whole month of July. Okay, another month, that's going to bring you into September. Okay, now the building season's over. You see how he just wasted the whole summer? And he says, here.
Very nice. Oh, you know, like we had to get farm.
And Larry's concerned because we're getting into winter now. Okay, you're saying next month, that's September. We're already trying to get firewood for the winter. When is this house going to happen?
Oh, you know, like we had to get firewood and everything. You know.
Eric's parked in the middle of the road.
My wife goes back here. Like that.
All right. So that's where Eric comes back from Robert Mass and says, hey, we're going to do the barnuminium. Instead, he said, what? He goes, yeah, it's the Amish are going to, if the Amish get involved, your house is going to be extra, extra good. It'll be really, really good. And you see how confused Larry was. And he said, well, next month, we're starting to get firewood already. What are you going to do? Whatever. All right. All right, here we go. I think Patrick said the dogs said on his live the dogs are with Betty. Yeah, I think Betty is up the road at somebody else's house. I don't know. Well, I don't know because Patrick said on his live that somebody asked, is the dog still around? Are the dogs still around? And Patrick said, yeah, they're still around. One of them came up to my house the other day or something like that. So I think they're still at the Whitakers, the dog. Okay, now here we go. Plans to meet with the Amish bishop. We need Robert Mass. Building a home, no mobile home. Nope. Mobile home is out because that would be too easy and too practical, and it would be done within a couple weeks. But here we have Patrick is laid up, lying like a rug. Eric is rushing back because the Whitakers don't want to deal with it anymore because they haven't been paid. And so here's where he's going to meet up. Yeah, we're going to put this house project, we're going to make it so hard that's never going to happen. It's just going to buy us time.
Again, the guys, unfortunately, I think Timmy's used to it. Another day. He's seen it too many times. Yeah, he's used to it. That's why.
Uh-huh. So they are lying to everybody, saying that BJ has been evicted this morning. She had to leave. She got notified this morning and instantly had to get in her car and leave. And she's driving around and she's scaring the hell out of Timmy, driving by Patrick's, honking the horn. Patrick and Eric have stayed up late making this ring cam, this fabricated, narrative that Timmy's being tormented by BJ. All lies. And so whenever, unfortunately, he's used to being tormented by BJ. Whenever BJ goes up the road or something, he calls her a bitch. Now, we saw Patrick teach him. Timmy, call BJ a bitch. It's a bitch. Yeah, oh, good. That's great. So now he's saying, every time she goes up the road, he calls her a bitch. Yeah, because you told him to do it. Man.
Again, though, guys, unfortunately, I think Timmy's used to it. Another day. He's seen it too many times. Yeah, he's used to it. That's why, whenever BJ goes up the road or something, he calls her a bitch. So.
Yeah, and that's what you taught him to do. We all saw it.
Yes, he does. I've heard it.
And he look at He loves that Timmy's calling her a bitch. Yeah, he does. I heard it. I love that he hates BJ. Look at this shit. Yeah, she does. I heard it. Right, and we also heard Patrick teach him how to say that. Call all his family members swear words. All the people that he loves and grew up with his whole life. Call them all nasty names. And then, of course, we also heard Patrick, and I have Patrick on video saying it was all made up lies. BJ never did this. BJ never did anything. Once these two broke up, had their falling out. Yeah, so if anybody thinks that Patrick was innocent, no. Eric couldn't have pulled this off without this useful idiot over here.
ACH.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, I just love that.
Questions about the house.
Yeah, when we showed up this spring, Timmy loved his family and he loved BJ, his cousin that he grew up with. They were like brother and sister, and yeah, they all loved each other, but they don't anymore. Right?
He does. I've heard it.
We taught him. We taught him that, you guys. We taught him to hate his family.
About the house, the varying types. I'm going to get a quick summary of kind of the plans that you actually had for starting next week. Well, you've been working on it, but some just kind of a quick summary of what you got going on next week and the future plans. So, friend of mine that I've known for years, Wayne, knows them.
This is where he's pitching, bringing Robert Maston in the picture.
The Bass family, they had a son that got killed in a bitter battle.
And you're supposed to trust Robert Mast because his son got killed.
For years, Wayne knows
Dwayne's going to vouch for him too.
The Bass family, they had a son that got killed in a bitter battle with his ex-wife. He was trying to get his kids. Went through false allegations, like we talked about earlier, and proved they weren't true. And when he went to his kids, his ex-father-in-law shot and killed him. To make a long story short, they lived most of their life as Amish. And his father, who I have a close relationship with, and guys, one of the nicest people.
Nicest people. You can trust them with your money.
Life, salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth.
Robert Mast. Am I lying when I say that? Guys, I'm like to bounce off here. I got time. Okay. Oh, you're good, man. You're good. All right.
Yeah, you did what he was supposed to do. So yeah, scram.
Yeah, he's good seeing you. As far as Robert Mast, I had the honor of meeting him a couple years ago with my wife, and hands down the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
Yeah, you can trust him. We're gonna get all the money's gonna go to him, and then he can give it to the Amish guy.
The warmest heart. Forgetting again, for those who don't know or just tuned in, he is the father of the gentleman that was murdered at a custody exchange.
Has nothing to do with anything.
And he was in town. Actually, he came in on his own time and dime to assist another parent that he's doing this time. He's doing this time.
Wait a minute. What other parent? Was he involved in the burn kid too? Who else was Robert Mast coming in involved with? That's interesting. He actually came in on his own time and dime, same scenario, to assist another parent.
He's doing this time.
And he gets interrupts him. He doesn't want to say too much.
This time. Yes, right. So, but yeah, as far as Robert, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I would hope to be like him one day. I mean, the fact that he forgave the person that murdered his
so you should trust him.
Son. Well, we talked about this on air, off air. I couldn't do it. Man, this crowd doesn't know about it, but yeah. Well, for those who don't, yeah, you go to Dad Talk today. watched John Mass trial, but yeah, there's just a lot of information there. Great guy.
So he lived most of his life is Amish. His family is very well respected amongst the Amish, and he knows all the territories around here where they live. And he set up a meeting with the bishop.
Okay, setting up the meeting with the bishop. Alright. Family's very well respected. See, he's trying to build your trust with his family.
And he knows all the territories around here where they live. And he set up a meeting with the bishop to talk about taking on this project. And if they'll take on this project, is one of the things I'm wanting outside of building the home was somebody that can control the money, a third party. That way, there's nothing can happen with the money, obviously.
Okay, and think about that. He wants a third party. So who's the second party? The first party is the donators. Second party would be Robert Mass. Third party would be the Amish. Who's the second party? Think about that.
I mean, you see what's happening right now. So this is just
the only thing that's happening right now is the Whitakers aren't getting paid from Eric or Patrick. He's trying to make this sound like it's all Whitaker's fault. They're not getting paid.
Layer of assurance that the people that have money is doing the right thing, and then they will help build. They're literally the best construction workers I think on planet Earth.
Yeah, they're so good that they don't do anything up to code, and they don't use permits, and they don't even use electricity. Yeah, I'm disappointed in him too. I'm disappointed in Patrick too, Betty.
We're taking about 2.5 days.
Tina, I'm hoping that Robert Mass is under investigation because he knows damn well none of this was necessary. He never even had to leave home. He knows it better than anybody.
It's going down, and then I've got some ideas of what we're going to do in the house. Obviously, it needs to be where it can be kept up. A lot of people have asked, well, what about a mobile home?
Yeah, what about a mobile home? No, because that's doable. You could have that set up in a couple weeks, 3 weeks. Put a concrete pad, bring in the double wide, put them together, hook up the septic, hook up the power. Power's there, septic's there. Hook it up, bam. Within 3-4 weeks, they would be across the street in a new home. But no, this complicated Amish bullshit is going to buy them a whole bunch of time.
What we're going to do in the house, obviously, it needs to be where it can be kept up. A lot of people
Yeah, and it would have been done by now, let alone before winter. It'd be done now. They could have done this in June, started in June. You know, by the time July, August comes, they'd be in it. But no, here we are, you know, in end of August, and he's just starting to wonder about what we should do.
About a mobile home.
And you've seen tonight, his plans changed over and over, but it had to be Amish. Once he got back from Robert Mass, first thing he does is goes to Betty and Larry and say, "We got to involve the Amish people. It'll be a really, really, really good home."
The mobile home with nice It's
Oh, okay. A mobile home, a double wide mobile home will not suffice for the Whitakers. Well, it has. They've lived in mobile homes their entire life. Well, maybe not the house that they grew up in, but they've had one mobile home after the next, and it's always sufficed. And as a matter of fact, half the family members have died. So they had double the amount of people in these mobile homes. They're down to 5 people. Yeah. Just look at local builders.
I don't think the mobile home would suffice with the Whitakers.
I don't think, because
with the Whitakers,
with the Whitakers, no. I love them, but yes, for their needs.
Yes, for their needs. When they're older, but like
Ray has to learn new habits. No, he's not going to learn new habits. He acts like he already sat him down and taught him how to use a napkin and a salad fork. No, he's not going to use. No, he's not going to learn new habits. A mobile home is fine.
Yeah, as for their needs, when they're older, but like Ray, he's got to learn new habits, guys. He eats with his hands. He'll have stuff all over him, and it would mess up very quickly. We're gonna have something that's more like customized towards their needs. That's easy to clean up, and
Okay, so the mobile home is going to get messy, but a log home won't get messy.
someone that come around
If in a mobile home, he'll still eat with his hands, but in a log home, he won't.
and help make sure that's happening. So hopefully, when I get to speak with the Amish, we'll find out more what we're looking at. Just keep your fingers, crossed.
What's a salad fork?
They're gonna want to take on this project with us.
Very good some people out there and team have been working behind the scenes on a number of different things to help out the Whitakers.
Help them.
A lot of things. We're trying to find the best solution for them.
If I tell you what, like, they got any more questions about like what's going on right now, let me know. If not, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about BJ. There's concern for her, coming. What would prevent her from coming back? Why was she evicted in the first place?
Tumblr number 1 was no straw.
Couple suggestions on what to do with her. I'll just go ahead and pass by those. I love the energy on him, but
He loves the energy on everybody trashing BJ. I remember when this came out, I thought, oh my God. Everybody in the chat was trashing BJ, and he goes, there's a lot of bad things saying about BJ. I love that energy, but I'll skip them. They love that everybody hates BJ, that their plan's working.
there, I'll just go ahead and pass by those. I love the energy on him, but yeah.
He loves the hate.
BJ's boyfriend.
It's going to be for both of them. They got to go.
Yeah, it's got to be. They both got to go. They lived there for 20 years, but yeah, I say they have to go. They have to go. And Larry's a son of a bitch because he didn't want his daughter to have to move out. Like, wait, what? Hey, Victoria, good to see you tonight. Oh, a salad fork? Okay, so you have 2 forks, when in a proper dinner table setting. You have a regular spoon and a soup spoon or whatever. You could have different forks. You have a regular fork and a salad fork. They're just shaped different or whatever. Anyway. All right. So, yeah. And Patrick went along with it. Oh, speaking of Patrick, let's pull him up. Let's see how he changed his mind. What's this one? This Mark treated him bad. Let's see what this one is. 1 second. Again, he's talking about the Amish. It's the same car ride. Good to see you tonight, Victoria. Hope you're doing well. All right, we'll keep going.
100 people have done hard at it, and they're saying, hey, we wake up every morning. It's waiting for time again. I literally can't get it out. So people want to see this family, and it.
Yeah, listen to what he says. People are saying we want more Whitaker content. I can't get it out fast enough. See, he's seeing dollar signs, man.
100 people have done hard at it, and they're saying, hey, we wake up every morning, it's waiting for time again. I literally can't get it out quick enough.
Yep, he hit the jackpot.
People want to see this family, and as they should. The Whitaker family loves doing this. It's just got to be done in the right way, man. I don't know.
Yeah, the way Mark did it.
They've been treated the way they've been treated. Somebody would have just treated them the right way.
Who didn't treat him right until they came along? Eric and Patrick are the first ones that I saw that didn't treat him right. I mean, even Tyler Oliveira didn't even do this.
They've
You know?
been treated the way they've been treated. Because if somebody would have just treated them the right way,
Everybody treated him the right way except him.
they love the Whitakers. They want to be a part of their life. So, one way of just saying that's why we go to the links that we do to keep you guys updated. So nothing like that ever happens again. That's why I'm trying to get the trust set up and doing this with the Amish. That way there's third parties in here to verify.
They just went to their second payday. Huge, tens of thousands of dollars. BJ wants her money. She said, "You're not talking to my family until you get us some money." And what does he say? Hey, you guys, I got an idea. Instead of paying the Whitakers, let's just put it all into a trust fund someday. Yeah, that's why the trust fund came up. Because there's a second payday and they still haven't gotten paid. And his excuse is, well, we're going to put their money into a trust fund.
There's accountability, there's transparency.
Transparency.
So I'll open up the books at any point in time.
No, he never did. Never, ever did. Never opened up the books. He showed us some numbers. It was ridiculous. It's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit, you know what I mean? Showing, looking at his books. All right, let's see here. I was going to get Patrick up here. Hold on a second. Where is Patrick? Because Patrick changed his mind about all this, didn't he? Let's see. Yeah, let's get one where Patrick has changed his tune. Hold on a second. Where I'm at, 227. Okay. Still got some battery left. Okay. Let's see. Patrick. Hold on a second. I'll pull up his file. All right, Patrick. Oh, he's got 195 in his file. Patrick got 195 in his file. Not as much as some of the other ones, though. All right, let's get Patrick in here. Let's see. Wow, he's got a lot. Okay. And speaking of Patrick, he's been awfully quiet. I see he basically quit doing live streams. I'm not sure why. I don't know if somebody told him to stop or whatever. Let's see here. A second. Let's see. I'll just check the chat real quick while I'm loading this up. Where do we got here? Oops. Come on. Come on. All right. Good evening to Jenny. You just got here? Welcome. Behind the Beat Online says, hey, this is Ernie Evans. Oh. This Ernie Evans, I remember it well. I told Patrick something's not adding up. He told me he was left out of almost all of that discussion. He was not happy about it. Which discussion, Ernie? Good to see you tonight, Ernie. Welcome. Behind the Beat Online. That's I like that. Okay, let me see. So later, after they had the falling out, Patrick goes on a live stream of somebody else's. Let me find it. And he changes the story. And he said that, I believe it, Ernie, because Eric wanted to be the banker at all times. Yeah. Hey, Ernie, hope all is well. Yeah, I hope all is well, too, for Ernie. Hope you're doing well and your family. Let's see here. All right, let's see what Patrick has to say. All right. I got a lot of them where Patrick's saying that BJ never abused anybody. Let's see what else we got here. All right, a couple with Justin like that. And I even have a clip where Eric said he wants to separate the Whitakers from their money. I want to just separate the money from the Whitakers. No, you did that. All right. All right. So, Eric, okay, here you go. Here is where Patrick is spilling the beans. All right. All right. So, okay, Eric and Patrick got paid tens of thousands of dollars. Whitaker's got nothing. That's what Patrick said. Another one, Patrick never met the Amish, which, like I said, it should have been him, Eric, and Betty and Larry that went to the Amish. We could do a whole night on what Patrick said, because Patrick also said BJ never abused Timmy. Let's see. What else we got? We also got Patrick doesn't want to pay the Whitakers because they'll just spend it on drugs. I got that right here. Remember, Patrick? You told Toddy and somebody else that on a live stream that you're not going to pay the Whitakers because the next thing you'll see is BJ pushing a wheelbarrow full of drugs. Patrick's text message to Airbnb about not trashing it. Okay, so I have texts where I have text messages where Patrick was texting the Airbnb asking him why he's telling everybody he trashed it, and the Airbnb guy would not respond. Here's another one. Patrick claims to have proof of the conversation. Eric knew the land wasn't the Whitakers. Oh, that's interesting. So Eric knew the whole time that the land didn't belong to the Whitakers. I have that. I'm going to show you. Patrick claims to have proof of a conversation that Eric knew that the land wasn't owned by the Whitakers. Okay. Patrick said there was never a lawyer for the trust. Patrick said Eric knew about the property. The Amish thing was a scam. There's another one. Patrick agrees BJ was a scapegoat. Here, another one. Falling out over knowing the land wasn't the Whitakers. Eric wouldn't introduce Patrick to the Amish. Now, Patrick claims that him and one of the things that they had a falling out with, Eric and Patrick had a falling out with way back in July when he was gone for that month. And so we saw the text by August 1st, Patrick and Eric are fighting. And Patrick is mad because the Whitakers are talking to Eric without Patrick. And so Patrick drives down to the Whitakers and he says, why aren't you answering my calls? BJ comes out of the camper, hands the phone to Larry, and Larry says, oh, Patrick's up here right now. And anyway, so Patrick was mad. They were already fighting. But Patrick says one of the things that they were fighting about in July was that Eric knew damn well the Whitakers didn't own that property. Fallout over knowing the land wasn't the Whitakers, Eric wouldn't introduce Amish. And that's, of course, he's not going to introduce Patrick to the Amish because Patrick's going to say they don't even own that land. Don't even bother with your Amish house because they don't own the property. Eric wanted Patrick at the Airbnb to keep him out of the way. He did not trash the condo. And I believe that. I believe 100% that Eric wanted Patrick up the road at that Airbnb to get him out of the way. Because he wanted BJ going back to that camper so he can make a big deal out of it and cut the deal off. Here you go, Patrick. Patrick left the Airbnb, and his own words, because I said Patrick left the Airbnb early Saturday morning, 7 a.m., September 6th on a Saturday. That the morning after Eric blew up and kicked him to the curb in the chat that we just showed you. And right here. And Patrick said he left the Airbnb Saturday, September 6th. September 4th. Look at that. September 4th, the day before the blow up. September 4th, Eric told Patrick that there's $40,000 in YouTube alone, that they'll probably make $150,000 on the next payday. Patrick and Eric did not put in contract that they were going to withhold the money, and he admits it might violate the contract. And no, they never did. Never said nothing about putting Betty and Larry's portion into a trust. That's just a way to get out of paying them. Patrick never met the Amish. Contract was signed by Patrick, Betty, and Larry. It wasn't fair and it wasn't legal. Patrick admits this. Eric told a security guard to leave Patrick. Patrick was going to be arrested for SA on Timmy. Patrick taught Timmy to call BJ a bitch. Huh, interesting. Anyway, so there you go. I got files on everybody. It's funny too. Just look at in the same file. Here, Patrick is saying BJ needs to watch out for Eric. Remember, they said, "Oh, you guys, be careful. BJ could be dangerous," and Patrick said, "No, BJ better watch out for us." And they laughed. No, we don't need to watch out for BJ. BJ better watch out for us. I got that right here. That clip. Kenny helping take. Oh, that's weird. Kenny was helping Patrick take down BJ. Interesting. So Patrick claims that Kenny helped bring BJ down. Oh, and then they said they have secret plans for BJ this week. Eric and Patrick was restraining order and APS. See, this week here, third week of August, Patrick and Eric are admitting they have secret plans for BJ this week, which involved restraining order and adult protection. Timmy only feels safe at Patrick's house. He calls BJ a bitch. Interesting. Yeah, I got a lot of files on each one of them and all these subjects. Gosh, I got a lot of these. Anyway, yeah. It's too bad when you say things on video and then your story changes. You know what I'm saying? Not good. Anyway, I think I'll wrap it up because I do have more. I have more. You know I do. But anyway, I like to put them into categories. So I do have a few more Amish ones, but I think we'll wrap that up. I think I've made my point. I think I've made my point that it's all bull crap. It's too bad when you say things on video and then your story changes. All right. Anyway. Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, I think I've proven my point that, They're both guilty of sin. And listen, if there's enough for Patrick to get arrested, there's a lot more on Eric than there is on Patrick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. All right, let me go in the chat before I wrap this up. Hello, sweetheart. Good to see you tonight. I'm thankful I found your channel. Keep up the good work and exposing the truth. Thank you. Hello, sweetheart. I'm glad you're here too. You love my calendar? I might have to redo it. Bring back the calendar? Yes. And my random pointers. I used a flat screwdriver. I used a paintbrush. Yes, it was kind of an inside joke. Because listen, I have pointers, right? I have one. Let's say I probably have one right in my desk. I know I do. I have real pointers, you guys. It's not that here's my paintbrush. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I have pointers. I know I have them in my desk here somewhere. I have a pointer with a hand with a finger sticking out. Anyway, I have them somewhere. I have two of them, as a matter of fact. So I have real pointers. I just, you know what I mean? It's not like I can't afford a pointer. I have one. Actually, here. Oh, here's right here. Here's one. It's still in the wrapper, in fact. Look. But yeah, I have a pointer. It's still in the wrapper. See? Got a little hand on it. No, go in the light. Yeah, there's my pointer right there. It's retractable. You know what I mean? I haven't even opened it yet. Yeah, I have pointers. I have real ones. You know what I mean? This is cute. There it is. See, it's a retractable one. It's got a nice handle on it. So yeah, I have a real pointer. All right. There you go. Ooh, look at that one. Woo. That's a long one. So yeah, maybe I'll use the real pointer next time. Huh? I'm getting all fancy up in here. She should use different things. I have been trying to. I did use different things. I used let's see, I remember the paintbrush, I remember the screwdriver. I can't remember what else. I think I was using different things. The calendar was a vibe. Yeah, thanks, Victoria. Don't forget the ranting pointy toes. Yes. You hope the dogs with Betty. Well, I think Betty can go down the road and see him whenever she wants. I don't know if she can bring dogs to her friend's house, but Patrick said one of the dogs, he saw him up by his house. So yeah, the dogs are still there. Betty liked that little one, and the little one was actually Jason's. And Jason went to prison for like a year or two or something. I can't remember. But when he was in prison, Betty took care of that dog, that little one that she's always got in her hands. I think that one is still Jason. And in fact, remember when Jason got out of prison? So it was like the summer of 2023, I think. And Mark Laeda went there, and it was in the summer, and he got a lot of great footage. But anyway, he said, "Yeah, we're gonna go to the fair tomorrow." He said, "Where's Jason been?" And or no, he said, "When's Jason get out of prison?" Or did Jason get out of prison? She said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I want to talk to him. He wants to interview Jason again," because I think he had interviewed him twice. So anyway, and that's when Betty said, "Yeah, this is his dog. I took care of his dog when he's in prison. He was just getting out or about to get out." And that same trip is when he did that. Remember, he did that interview with Jason. He was sitting on the motorcycle and he was holding that little dog. Yeah, that's his dog. They had two little dogs, but the one she always carries was his. Anyway, Kathy, I think Patrick said on his side the dog's with Betty. She never Did she ever use a soup spoon? No, I could. I could do that next. Or like a ladle. I was just teasing anyway. Obvious. It was a joke. Dumb joke. Bishop pork chop. Timmy said BJ's a beach. He did, and remember, I have it. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have a clip of it in my file. It's either under Patrick or Timmy. But yeah, Patrick was teaching him. All right, call BJ a bitch. Call Kenny an asshole. Call Jason asshole. I'm thinking, good grief. She might not seen much of the Whitaker stuff. Talking about a shit-eating grin. Yeah, right? That was it. Never going to be built. Never. Ever, Rachel. This crowd doesn't know. Yeah, this crowd doesn't know about all that. Hush. Keep it quiet there, Dwayne. Shh. This crowd doesn't know about none of that. This crowd, like, checks into stuff. I'm so disappointed, Patrick. Me too. Second party needs to be an attorney. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Florida. But you know who the second party was going to be? It was going to be Robert and Eric. Maybe Mast is under investigation. I'm sure. If Eric's under investigation, they all are. Robert Mast would be. Mark Doosh would be under investigation. Let's see. Maybe Dwayne would be under investigation. Who else? Yeah, Robert Mast. Doosh. Maybe even his brother Sean. His brother Sean was with him too. He got paid. Imagine that. His brother Sean, all he did was ride along, got a free trip, free everything, free food, free lodging, free everything. Anything he wanted was on the Whitaker's tab. And he got an extra $500 plus. So his brother Sean made more than all the Whitakers put together. That's pretty sad. A lot cheaper and quicker before. Yeah, they could have put that up. They could have put that up by August. You know what I mean? Been a done deal. But you see the look on Larry's face? Like, wait, next month we're already chopping wood for winter, and we're getting worried about firewood. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of looking at local builders, no, they got to complicate it. Get the Amish involved. So Robert Mast. Well, like I said, I got that email from the murderer's wife. And she said, yeah, Robert Mast is probably behind all this. That's why the Amish got involved. Yeah. They had to have enough time for them to all make a fortune. Exactly, Victoria. They couldn't go too fast. They had to stretch it out and stall all summer long so all him and his buddies all make money. You're right, Betty. Not all Amish are trustworthy. You're right. That's fact. Yeah, Victoria, correct. That's what's the salad for? There are a lot of people in that chat saying the same thing. Yeah, exactly. No, okay, serious question. All right, you can Google it though. Still. Hey there, say it out loud. Tina. Work. Let's see, I lost my work from the outside in when dining out. Okay. Hey, while I was on my vacay, my debit card was compromised and I had to have my card canceled. I see that my membership was trying to come off my Apple Pay today, but couldn't. It should be fixed Monday. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I hope they get that straightened out. One time I brought my son and my grandkids to the 4th of July fireworks. And this is a long time ago, my grandkids were little. And I got my grandson out of the back car seat and I didn't know, but my debit card dropped onto the ground. And by the time I figured it out the next morning, I needed it for something. I'm panicking, looking all over, looking in the car, looking everywhere. By the time I found out, somebody had used it a lot. Like they did more with that debit card than I could do. I mean, I couldn't. Anyway, I didn't even know how they were doing it. But I called the bank and they took care of everything. Bam. Done. Hey, well, anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully your bank will take care of it. It's a pleasure to have you here too, Victoria. Anyway, Ernie Evans is here and he's behind the Beat Online account. Good to see you tonight, Ernie. Hi, everyone. Just got here. You had to do the replay. Everyone saying hi to Ernie. Yeah, I hope you had a great weekend too, or having a great weekend. I believe at Ernie because Eric wanted to be the banker at all times. That's right. All the money has to go through his hands about the house. Yeah, about what Patrick said. Yeah. I wonder if putting the money in a trust fund was in the. No, it wasn't, Tina. It was not. He didn't even come up to the trust fund until they missed their second payment. And they were being squeezed for that money. And Eric's saying, you know what, you guys? I got a good idea. We should put their money into a trust fund because you just never know. I mean, if they die, what's Timmy going to live off of? Bleh. We should, it should go into a trust. Like, wait a minute. Since when can you take somebody's third of their earnings? How can you take somebody's money and decide that you're going to put it into a trust account? Hell no. Since when does your business partner decide what you're going to do with your money? Hey, I know. Let's put Eric's money into a trust account. And that way, when he dies, his kids could get something. I mean, that's dumb. Tina, for the house, there wasn't a contract yet. Yeah, there was never a contract for the house. But the money, the earnings off the AdSense for social media, those earnings were supposed to go into their pocket, just like Patrick's went into his pocket, Eric went into his pocket, and Whitaker's was supposed to go into their pocket, but it never did, not to this day. And somehow they're the grifters. They're the rip-offs. They're the problem. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. The contract was bullshit. Eric just made it up as they went. It was like playing canasta with my grandma. She changed and made up the rules throughout the year. That's funny. That's funny. County Kathy, what will you do when the feds seize your laptop for evidence? Best get it back to seize mine. Well, they don't have to seize it. I'll give them copies of stuff if they need it. I hope the feds don't. I think I'll have bigger problems. Yeah, they can just ask nicely. Save all the paperwork, you know what I'm saying? But actually, they can just use my videos as I put them up. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. I've lost my place for a second here. All right. Let's see. Now my monkey says my birthday is coming up September 6th. Oh, happy birthday. That is coming up. Ray, Timmy, and the Rain got taken for my last birthday. Oh, wow. I'm hoping and praying that Eric gets taken for this birthday. Yeah, it will be happy birthday for all of us. We would love to share that present with you. Right? And can you believe it's been almost a year? It's going up on a year already. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday. September. I know a few people with September birthdays. So Eric said Patrick was going to be arrested for SA on Timmy. I don't remember that, but I'm thinking Eric SA'd Timmy. Yeah, and you know what it is? It is funny because, a lot of times people will point the finger at somebody for doing something they're doing. And it is funny that he would say that. But yes, actually, who said it was Eric said it to the security guard, the fake security guard. that really wasn't there when they said he was. Because now they're saying the security guard got to Beckley and turned around, you did a U-turn and went home. But before, we were all supposed to be rest assured, the security guard's up there, everything's under control. Wait, what? Now you're saying he just turned around and went home? Anyway, supposedly Eric told the security guard, you need to turn this rig around and go home. Patrick is about to be arrested for SA on Timmy. Yeah, that was supposedly the security guard said that. He said that's what Eric told him. And in fact, that was that Monday that they got taken. What would that have been? Let's see, 5, 6, 7. It would have been Monday the 8th. Monday the 8th is when supposedly that happened. When the adult protection came and extracted them, or as Doosh called it, he called it snatch in place. That adult protection does the snatch in place. They snatch you and then they place you somewhere and they get 10 grand. That's what he said. Great video. Thanks, Kathy and chat, everyone. Have a great night. Look forward to more of your video. Thank you. Thank you very much, Florida. Thanks for modding tonight. Yeah, so let's hope she gets that birthday present. You remember the motorcycle review? Yeah, you remember he had that little dog on his lap. And I swear that motorcycle that Jason's sitting on used to be Patrick's. We should ask Patrick, hey, Patrick, does Jason have your old motorcycle? Because it really looks like it. And I'm thinking, did he trade the Harley for the house? Because remember, Jason used to own that house. Jason Whitaker used to, well, I don't know if he even owned it, but Jason Whitaker used to live in Patrick's house. And then Jason moved out and Patrick moved in. And then it seemed like maybe they look alike. But Patrick used to have a motorcycle that looked exactly like Jason's. A ladle with soup on it. Yeah, should I use a ladle that still has soup stuck to it for my pointer? How is Eric hiding all his donation and monetizing from the IRS? Well, I think it's already spent, James. And I don't think he really cares about the IRS. Catch me if you can kind of thing, you know what I mean? James, good question. Maybe it's all about to come to, well, yeah. Well, we do know that, so the GoFundMe gets 38%. It's taxed. Well, no, it's not even taxed. GoFundMe takes 38% out for themselves. But anyway, no, that might have been the taxes because, as a matter of fact, it was the taxes. So on $100,000, the Whitakers had to pay $38,000 in taxes. And I think it was like 110 or 20,000. But nonetheless, Mark Leda left 38,000 in the GoFundMe after he paid the Whitakers because that's what the IRS was owed. So for every 100,000, he had to pay the IRS because he said otherwise Whitakers and me would be having problems with the IRS. So he took out the 38,000 out of the Whitakers and paid the IRS. So yeah, Mark Leda knows that you have to pay, but I don't think Eric really cares, to be in my opinion. And remember, Eric already admitted that he's had trouble with the IRS in the past. Because he said, you guys, I told Patrick that we should get an LLC, and then I saw how Patrick was, and I thought, you got to get your own LLC, and I'll get my own. And you got to pay taxes because I'm telling you, I know for personal experience that the IRS will come after you. So, yeah, he admitted he already had the IRS come after him. Good question. Yep. Yeah, they took care of it. They stopped it immediately. I used it at a smoke shop. Then it was trying to be used in California and I was in Maryland, it was flagged and I called. Wow. I used this smoke shop in California, no, in Maryland, and somebody used your number in another state. So the people at the smoke shop took your number and used it? Well, anyway, I'm glad that the FDIC and all that, the bank takes care of that usually. Jason might have rented that house, Betty. I just thought it was weird that Jason moves out, Patrick moves in, and it seemed like Eric had Jason. I mean, it seemed like, I'm sorry, it seemed like Jason had Patrick's motorcycle, but maybe it was a different one. Maybe they each had their own. Anyway. You're brilliant, Kathy, and you're always making me laugh. Thanks for another fun stream. Well, thank you for coming. In fact, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'm going to wrap this up. It's 3 hours, and my battery is getting down there a little bit. But I think that is about enough. That's going to wrap up the Amish stuff. I do have a few more clips, but that's all right. We've seen enough. There shouldn't be any doubt in anybody's mind. This is all nonsense. And hopefully the police are clipping my clips. Anyway, so thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming in. And yeah, we will go over some more stuff tomorrow in a different subject. Maybe we'll go over Patrick stuff, huh? We've been on Eric all week. I think maybe we should, give him a night off and go over some of Patrick's stuff. Are you on tomorrow? I think so. I don't have any plans for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I think I will be. Well, thank you, James. Thank you, everybody. Kitten 2010, no, I know that voice. Well, hey, Kitten, good to see it tonight. Meow. All right, everybody. Thank you, mods, for moderating. Thank you for being here. Bless each and every one of you, and peace.